Hey Tony, you're actually muted on the stream and you're live in Discord right now.
Oh man, you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us today, guys. I was just talking to Discord instead of you all, but welcome to the Build with Makko live stream. We do this every week on Wednesdays at 8:30 a.m. Pacific. Uh, we are going to be talking about um, some of the updates that we've made to the games that we're building, some of the updates that we've made to the platform, and just reminding everyone that if you are following along and you are building with Makko and you have any questions, or you want to help, you want to get help with what you're working on, or you just want to participate in some contests and win some free games, our Discord is discord.gg/Makko. You can join anytime, and we do office hours on Fridays at noon Pacific. So, but we're usually hanging out in there. So if you just tag someone in everyone chat, we'll see you as well. So, welcome today. We are going to get kicked off by running you through some updates that I've made to the little game that I'm making called Sector Scavengers, and then we're going to flow from there into Brandon showing us some of the updates that he's made on the design for Rift Runners, which is a game that we're making in Godot with Makko assets. And so we're really going to show off two things today. One is a game that's being fully made in Makko using both the Art Studio and the Code Studio combined, and then a game that's being built in Makko and Godot using Makko assets and Godot game engine features. So without further ado, I will show. Oh, sorry, I just realized I was watching Twitch on my phone and I could hear myself and it was bothering me. So yeah, I'm gonna share my screen here and then make sure I put it on the. There we go. All right, the first thing that I'm most proud of here is this week I have a music off and music on button. Literally every time that I have shown this game off, Jeremy or Brandon has had to say, "Tony, we can't hear you because the music is playing." Just in case you're curious, I'm going to play it right now for a second. This is what everyone would hear when I started talking. It's beautiful, isn't it? Just lose yourself in it. But now you can turn it off and on straight from the start menu. Um, so last week, Jeremy called out that my health bar and my energy bars were too um, uh, too small. Effectively, they weren't distinct enough. They were just little like circles up here in the corner, and they took up about probably like a third of the space that these do, and so it just it wasn't as clear that these were things that you had to pay attention to. I think Jeremy said, like, can't remember the exact quote, but health and energy are basically like the two most important things in the game, and you couldn't even tell where they were. So I redesigned this section of the HUD to be a rect or a square now, and made them much larger. Like I said, probably about 3 times larger. And now you can see the fill is a little more clear, and as the player loses energy or loses health, you can really tell that the amount of energy or the amount of health is decrementing. I think I'm going to add some sort of glow or effect to the fill just so it's a little clearer, it pops a little more, but I haven't figured out what that's going to be yet, and I want to mess with the font or the way that I'm doing the numbers here because they feel pretty plain right now. The other thing that I did was again one of the pieces of feedback. Whoops, one of the pieces of feedback that I got was um, even with the encounters that I built in, it still kind of felt like I was doing the same thing over and over again. And so what I did now is previously the way that you would accrue value or money in the game is you would scavenge these little debris piles, and those would give you some amount of currency. Now what happens is you don't actually get currency until you complete the encounter that's happening in the level, and so it just puts a little bit more tension on um, actually accomplishing the thing that you're trying to accomplish in the room instead of just pressing buttons and trying to move on as quickly as possible. So now the user, as they're exploring the ship, will be presented with the opportunity to continue through corridors or go explore rooms, and as they're doing so, um, uh, they'll be rewarded explicitly for completing these, call them quests or encounters in the game. So those are really my updates for sector scavengers. I didn't have a ton this week. I've been running around a bunch. So between the UI changes, just to highlight a couple of things that making this bigger necessitated, I had to move the hardware and salvage panels down because this panel was like twice as tall before, and so I had all three of these panels on the left side here. And so what I did was I kept salvage and hardware together on the left, and I moved the encounter over to the right, with the idea being that the encounter is like the most active thing that you would want to uh, think about. And as I say those words, it makes me feel like I should actually swap that. But my thought was that I was putting it in the same line as the bug out button. But there's clearly more thought to be had there. Yeah.
So
So that
I'm curious how
yeah.
So you said that you did a lot of work on your like hardware and salvage UI area right below the health box.
I didn't do it. I didn't do a ton of work. No, I just moved things around. The thing that was the most work was getting this like in place and fitting in the box.
Mhm. Yeah, I think everything's looking a little bit better on this hardware and salvage area. It looks like your buttons are a little like an oval instead of a circle now, but
These things,
maybe that's just the way that you moved it around. I'm not sure what the process
uh,
for that looked like.
these aren't even buttons. These are just like uh, this is just like art,
Mhm.
right? This is just part of the HUD.
Nice.
But it's a good call out. If they look like buttons, we should just get rid of them. Maybe.
They do look like little buttons, to me at least.
I
Nice.
noticed in the background you had GLM52 chugging along.
I love that guy.
I want to plug in. We launched Kimi K27 code, GLM52, and Minimax M3 in the last week. GLM52 is everybody online loves it. It's basically close to Opus 4.8 performance. If you guys follow LLMs, it's just lot cheaper. We don't include Opus in our product because I've actually debated dropping Sonnet. There's rumors of a new Sonnet dropping soon, so we'll leave it for the time being. But Opus is like 10x Sonnet pricing, so it's just real expensive. So you'd burn through credits like in 5 minutes because Sonnet's already 10x. But yeah, GLM52 for the price is really good, and then Kimi K27 is better at coding than Kimi K26. It's actually a coding model now, not a general model. But the biggest thing is, according to their benchmarks, it reduces token cost by 30-40%. So basically, that just means it's getting you answers a lot faster. And then the way we do our pricing is we average requests over users because token pricing can be confusing and get wildly different. So depending on what you're doing, so we just average them over the users and try to make our workflows meet those and fit those averages versus doing complex pricing there. So we'll watch that, but we might be able to, if they deliver on their promise, might be able to lower that 2x at some point. But yeah, so Tony, the real question was, you've been using GLM 5.2 all week. How does it compare to the old GLM and Sonnet
It's
specifically?
so much better. What I've noticed is it catches its own errors a lot more frequently. Like it will say, "Oh, I did this thing and I need to undo that before I tell the user to go test this out." And I've been using it enough now that I can see the things that it was doing before that I would have to then go fix. Like it was having trouble with the scene transitions between uh between the room and the corridor, and then the corridor to um oops this is what it was having trouble with. uh there we go. The corridor to the extraction panel. And although that was buggy there, it actually was much buggier before. So I like the it catches itself more. I would say that what I've been doing is I use plan mode a lot. And so what I've been doing is planning with Claude and coding with GLM, or planning with GLM and coding with Kimmy. The difference when I do this combination, it's usually when I'm trying to do some sort of like UI UX thing, because Kimmy's pretty good at like actually, like you saw, I was asking GLM to redesign something there and it didn't do it. So I'm going to go back and ask GLM to plan and Kimmy to redesign the screen that I was trying to redesign. And then
yeah, and
sorry, go
on
ahead.
that note, it's one thing bizarrely Sonnet's terrible at is UI. It just, especially game UI, it's really, really bad. So it is actually decent at planning, but it's kind of a funny thing. I was hoping GLM's UI was better, but Kimmy, for whatever reason, has just been like killer at game UI. So
And then the other things that are new here that I think are worth calling out, Jeremy did a ton of redesign on the way the Code Studio like looks and feels and people navigate it. So the previously, when you were interacting with the preview section here, this whole section was like the 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 game preview, and you couldn't like click back and forth through um, your files and the game without actually switching the tab that you were in. And so now, I'm going through and making cards for the game, and it makes it really easy for me to have this list of cards pulled up that I need to make, and then quickly switch over to the game. Add the card that I want to add. In this case, I just built a patch and hold and a upgrade card, and then go back and ask the game to add it and quickly refresh and test. That workflow had like a few extra screens in it before that it didn't need to have, and this new UX is just real smooth. And then Jeremy, is there anything else with the changes that we made recently that's worth double clicking on or calling out?
Well, we did some. Oh, sorry, you're muted. But we did some dashboarding things, right?
yeah, we did add a dashboard, but just basically changed, instead of like dropping you into Art Studio and Code Studio, we did add a dashboard. We can also show. Well, we're going to be adding some interesting things there, like onboarding quests and things. There's a news reel there. The onboarding quests will, like when you complete them, give like new users extra credits, things like that, just as a way to streamline some new user experience and getting people trying out new features as we launch them. But here, let me send me your Sector Scavengers link again, and then I'll demo real quick the one of the reasons why we were doing a redesign.
I'm grabbing it.
One of the things we're branching into here is more and more actual tooling. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Screen. Oh my gosh, when I put my Talk Studio is so buggy. When I put my Talk Studio on the other screen, I like can't click the buttons until I've clicked the button. Very weird. So one of the things we're working on is we needed a better way, and this is why we kind of did the redesign in here. So one, it's like multiple files and stuff. You want to have all of that. But two, we want to work on adding more better tooling, right? So like right now, it's basically a vibe code, and we're moving towards a world where there's better tooling. So like, for example, if you come in and add a bunch of assets to your game, there's actually no way to manage them right now, and this is still all local, and I'm working through it. I don't love the UI quite yet. But like, so in the future, where you're going to be able to come in is like take these and be like, oh, these are category animations, or it probably need a preset animation, and then you'll just be able to categorize all of them as animations. So if you want to come look at your animations, this will let you be able to add and remove your assets, and this is just one of the many tools we're starting to add. So it's just setting up the stage for being able to add all this different UI, right? And you got now multiple files open versus single file, just things you couldn't do before that are kind of table stakes. But there'll be an alignment tool in here. So if you're familiar with our character alignment tool, that only aligns within like a given character set of sprite sheets. It's kind of a weird wonky way to do it. We did it early on just because of the UI we had. So there'll be an alignment tool here where you'll be able to go in and align every single sprite you have to each other, so that everything you're importing into the game will be the same size. And then there'll be this would be a technical thing. We'll rebake. They're called Atlas sprite sheets, basically God sprite sheets that contain all of your sprites. So right now it gets imported, and Sector Scavengers is a great use case for this. There's just a ton of assets. It gets imported and each individual file gets loaded. So how that should be working is you can look at some of these files like this one. I can't preview, but it's 2000 by 1500 pixels. It's just huge, probably way bigger than, and if you notice Tony's game, it's like not even the full screen background. It's like a tiny box background. So like these images are just like way too huge, which kills performance, kills loading time, all those things, makes the bundle bigger. So those Atlas sprite sheets, this is all in like preparation for Atlas sprite sheets, which will just automatically bake when you do your game. We're going to, this one's farther future, but the idea is we can also get proper scene management where you can come in and edit your scenes like any other game engine. There's a balance between like when you're AI first, how deep you want to go on the tooling, but I'm also going to be taking a different route where right now, like even for images and adding assets and things, there's like the AI agent reads the files, knows how to update the files. We're going to be this is in preparation also to migrate that to more tool calls, so the AI agent doesn't know about those files. You can notice if you in our plan mode and stuff, there's this .mako directory. This is where all our config files will slowly move to. So you can see our old sprite manifest, asset manifest are just in the root directory. Those will start moving to .mako, which are protected files where the user can't edit those. And I think you can today, but one of the changes I'm making them read only. The user won't be able to edit those, and the AI agent can't edit those, and it'll start going through tool calls to edit those. So it's just in preparation for architectural changes to make better and greater tools. Kind of moving from our first version, which was more of a vibe code tool, to moving into like proper game tooling. And just a reminder of my philosophy is you build your tools deep and then you build your AI agents on top of it. And so then anybody that wants to come in and do actual, like get to know the tools, do actual, like closer to a real engine game dev can do that. Or maybe you only need to do it 5% of the time, but when you need to do it, you need to do it. So like right now, if you want to like pixel by pixel move things around in your game scenes, you would have to ask the AI agent where that is. And if you know how to do this, it's not that hard. You ask the AI agent where it is, and then here I can just like demo it. Tony, I'll try not to mess up your game too much, but I'll just use.
This is the point of the game.
Yeah, I just use Minimax because it's super fast. And I'll say, hey, can you tell me the file name of the title screen and where I can adjust the position of new run button? All right, so this would be a, oh cool, my local build. Oh wait, it's probably just a build issue. Now I gotta type it again. Oh no, here we go. So when you're building locally, like there's a bunch of bundles and stuff, and sometimes they don't auto build correctly. Thanks, Vite. It's a wonderful local thing. So anyways, we'll it'll go fine. Okay, so now it's just scenes, title, scene. So now we also don't have hot reload, which will be nice in the long run. that's a lot harder feature, so may not get that for a while. But
Is that like when you look really good while you're reloading?
it's basically like if I were to come in here. Okay, so button width, button gap, button row. But if I were to come in here and change one of these values, it would like change automatically. Is the idea.
Without having to rebuild or anything. Is that accurate?
Yeah, without so you just change it and it would change. So just automatically. All right. So for example, if you were working on UI, right? I just changed the button width to 280 for all of these. You don't see anything. I have to come up and refresh it, which is doing a full rebuild. The idea is you only want to rebuild specific files that change. So it's hard to tell how they're changing. So it did technically get bigger. So let's do like 500. Let's make it way bigger.
Let's make it huge.
Yeah, and I think it was 260 before. So this is the sort of UI work that's kind of hard to do right now in a pane. You can still do it, but see now your buttons are really big, right? So as you're adjusting this, a lot of times you want to go pixel by pixel, and this is where like a UI to adjust this stuff, and you can already see in the title screen, it's basically a config already. The AI is done, so like we'll figure out ways to where you can like basically come in and edit, like especially screens like this, design everything, set your placement, like make sure you have all the assets the scene needs, and then it'll just load how it looks in your UI editor. So that's kind of like where we want to go. But yeah, and you can see back down to 260. We definitely don't want these buttons. And actually, Tony, it actually doesn't. I assume these are all the same, but you, I don't know if you actually want different sizes here because you're stretching the images first. It actually doesn't look terrible stretch.
No, I have a long one and a short one.
Oh, okay.
I have a rectangle and a square. Yeah.
And then the next question would be, this is what I always tell people is like, I'd be interested if there are games that do this kind of 2-tier menu.
Oh no, this is terrible. I'm not gonna. This is like, this is not. Yeah. Like the Shift F full screen isn't gonna be there, and the wish list on Steam will only be there for the demo, right?
Yeah. So like, it's just a. Most games have a simple menu because what you actually want to see is the title screen and all of that, right? And like, it's not till you like think about almost every game with a title screen. It's press start, 3 menus or whatever, and then and options. Maybe it's like new game, continue, options, whatever. And they're simple because actually you actually do have a great title screen, but the menu kind of hides it.
Covers it up.
Yeah, I actually think your title screen looks amazing. Your title screen's ready to go. Like it's
AAA quality.
Yeah.
I would say also for maybe the buttons too. I know we've talked about it before for like other games like Rift Runners, but if you wanted to create like a sprite sheet for your font, so then you can go in and get specific font.
That's what I'm working. I've got like 3 going right now, and I can't get it working yet. But I want that. I have my own font. It's actually the logo font, but in not that color. It looks really cool when it's like in black and regular white. But I can't get it to read it right now. So what I'm doing right now actually is I'm making an image for every letter. I'm gonna see if I can get it to do it that way.
Oh, that's usually they'd all be on the same image. All the letters would be on the same image, and then you'd kind of just parse through it, kind of like a sprite, like an animation sprite sheet. But for
yeah, that's what I say. I can't get it to work though. But anyway, I'll bother you about it.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, the text right here doesn't look terrible or anything. The only thing that catches me off guard is that it stays the same size when your button gets bigger.
Well, and on the cards, it just doesn't look good. Like the text just doesn't look good on the cards.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're white on gray. So this is what a lot of people are like. The contrast matters. There's a difference between like, oh, I want it to be this rustic feel, and like contrast for readability, and that's where like UX designers and stuff always fight. The other thing You could probably try a black outline or something on the text, and then
Yeah.
the way I would say is like these like pop-in buttons and all that. Like usually you might just try like a big square because you'd use dramatically less screen space with like just hover over text in there with like highlight or something.
Yeah. And then
Um,
it's not an individual button for each option.
Yeah, so then it's just like a square where this continue shift
Mm.
F and wish list is on, and then you could like literally put all 5 of these in a much smaller screen space.
Yeah, I like that a lot better.
And then you still get to keep your little rustic feel.
That's what we're gonna look at next week.
Yeah,
And like you
and
can't
then,
even read the music off. Like I know what it is up there, but you can't unless you're hovering over it. You have no idea what that is.
yeah, and that's the white on gray. Common thing is you put black outlines around your text, things like that. So, which might actually black outline around white on that might just make
If you
it
click
look.
if you click new game, that's what the rest of the game is doing. Click on new run.
Oh yeah,
Right, you can see. Yeah. But
automatically.
yeah. Makes it pop
Well,
a lot more. But I
yeah,
still don't love this. Is my point.
yeah, I don't know that the so this is a great thing. You have a Claude membership. I'll do a plug for one of the Claude tools I do actually like is you could it's actually one of the it's a pretty unique tool on the market right now. Claude has a design studio. Now it is designing HTML, but to get screenshots for the and what you want to look at it, you might actually just drop screens in and like redesign this in like Claude Design. Because one of the problems here is that, and actually I don't know how well it'll work with all the sprites and things, because like I said, it's like an HTML designer. But I feel like one of the things here isn't the font. It is the fact that you're using very confusing and not confusing, very busy graphics for your chat window. Like if you go look at chat windows in games, they're usually a box with maybe a small outline in like the top left corner or top like this is where I always say steal your ideas from other best chat boxes in games. Right? Like just to get ideas, right? Like if you well, that's not the game. Of course I click. But like if you see these, right? Like high contrast and like even these are pretty busy.
That looks pretty busy.
But you still have like who's saying it, like
yeah. Look at that one. Look at that one right. Oh, you were just there next to it. It's got like it's just like a mock-up. Go left from where you're at right now, and there you go. Nope, right.
This
there
one?
you go. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, like super clean.
Yeah.
This would be your 16-bit. Let's see. Best chat boxes in games, industrial. See if anybody's. And there's got to be websites and stuff for this too. But like it actually, Diablo's. I think this is Diablo Immortal. This is a good kind of example. Like look at all their boxes, right? They're nice and clean. Even look at the text. The text is on a high contrast outline here. Like this is where UI goes from like looking like a someone that didn't know what they were doing made it to looking professional. It's like all these small things, unless you're analyzing it, you would never know. Even the text over here is all pretty high contrast, right? Like there's no white on gray, like similar shades. And this is where the AI can help you dramatically, is because you could like literally send it a screenshot and go, hey, what's wrong with the contrast here? What colors would be better contrast here? But there's also all the UI usually wants to be clean, right? Like humans like clean UI. They usually don't like messy, hard to follow. And this is where like, we talked to an indie a couple weeks ago, and their designers literally put mood boards together of like, oh, I really like this UI. Oh, I really like this thing. Even this UI kind of reminds me of New World a little bit. It's all super clean and structured because humans need structured data. It's like basically, and even your like it's just go to almost every single game. There's just like super clean structured UI is what they land on. And what I always say is, unless you're an expert at something, don't try to lead the field in the industry. Just because like literally there's people that will spend 40, 60 hours a week just on trying to invent this, and it still looks terrible and it gets scrapped. So it's like kind of know your limitations, and really, I mean, there's got to be a better way to search than what I'm searching right now. But even like this stuff, it's like fun little stuff. And actually, ChatGPT 2, it's actually, maybe Tony, you should go do this. I actually want to see this. Hold on. Share your screen, go to Art Studio. This is our good on the fly demo for the day. ChatGPT T2 is really good at doing like general mock-up ideas on high. So share your screen and then go to Art Studio. And then what we're going to do is take some of your concepts from Sector Scavenger and say generate. Actually, here's what you should do. Go to your game and take a screenshot of that title screen, because like really for that one we're just trying to. I actually think your title screen's the best thing to go off of, because it just looks so good. And then we don't want to start with like bad examples, or not bad examples, but examples we're trying to change. We want to start with the things that we want to lean into. So I would just take a screenshot of this.
Oh man, 1 second. I did the screenshot and it blacked everything out. There we go.
Yeah, you can do like Windows Shift S too is my most used hotkey.
If you, it's too big, so I have to do just a piece of the screen. All right, and then go to.
No, yeah, let's just go back to Art Studio.
And then.
Yeah, we can just generate. Go to
Here we go. Concept
art.
art. Yeah.
And then you do need to upload that screenshot in the.
Title screen. All right.
So now we don't want to be on card art. So yeah, there
whoops.
should be like should be like a UI preset or something.
Yeah, there's
UI mockup.
There's like a title screen one. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I would just do UI mockup. Okay, so now we can say like, hey, we really love. I would just
title screen, right?
Well, no, I would just leave it as UI panel, because we're really focused on the UI. We're not the title screen. So now I would say this is our title screen. We really love the general look and feel, but we hate the UI cards. Help me design UI cards and chat boxes with this look and feel that follow game industry best practices.
Ooh.
And so now make sure it's on high. This definitely needs to be on high. And then I would do like 4, and then let's just send it.
Yeah, I think
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think this will be really cool too, because I know that there are a lot of tools out there, like the redlining tool and stuff, to make sure that you get every piece perfectly even, like pixel perfect, which I think users can pick up too. So it'd be really nice if AI can just take over that, because it is a more tedious job.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not going to be pixel perfect from AI. AI is more for giving you examples and things, and then you gotta clean it up. So what I always say with AI is, even if it gets close, you need a human touch to clean it up. And like, it's really good, but like if you actually wanted a red line that was pixel perfect, you would still need to have a designer do that. That's why like Figma, everybody was like, when Figma's going out of business, and then guess what? They haven't. So
yeah, we use Figma a lot, and the designer would spend a lot of time getting everything pixel perfect before they'd show it off to everyone, amongst other things too. But that was one of the big things that they did.
Yeah, I definitely look at some of these experiments as just brainstorming experiments. It's important to brainstorm everything. It's easier than ever, but it still is important. Like it's your game, so like I just lectured Tony on all these things of like contrast and all that, but ultimately it's your creation, so you get to do whatever you want, and if you're happy with what the look and feel, like that's cool. Like that's the whole point of this. So just want to provide pointers on what an actual like UX technical artist would be doing.
Well, and I think ultimately I'm excited to do this, and then next week show off like what these UI panels and chat boxes look like, right? Because I'll spend the week now messing around with this, doing, I'll probably make a couple of these concepts like this, and then pick one that I like and spend some time this weekend just updating all the panels and just see what it looks like. I've got one of the guys that play tests the game that has been making videos for it, and so he's got a before and after series as we update the game, and I'm excited for him to have more stuff. Also, you can see what happens if you forget to select reference art. This is all the same prompt here, but this one obviously used my reference art, and this I forgot to select the reference art.
It's also a good test from our fixes a couple weeks ago.
Look at this. Oh my God. Look at this.
Yeah. So, okay. So this
is so much cleaner, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is kind of what I was thinking. So now you can start to figure out what panels you want and your panel set. So this is why I wanted UI panels, not title screen, right? Because like,
yeah.
So now you would want to save as a concept art, and then this is where like in the future we want to like make UI work really easy. Right now what you would have to do is take the panel or take the concept art, save it, and then tell it like, oh, you'd have to come up with a prompt that works.
I think you can also just iterate, right? Like I do this all the time. Extract.
Well, sure. I would probably just do it. Well, you definitely don't want to iterate on high with this, right? So now now you're just burning credits, right? So
yeah, don't do that. Ignore what I just said, guys.
Tony does not care about burning credits. He's the credit master.
That's a good nickname for him.
So like I would say extract only the panel in the upper left of the reference image.
Yeah. And then what you actually want, and this is where, so if you want a static panel, this can work really well, right? But if you wanted a panel that grows up and down, what you actually need to do is extract the top piece, the bottom piece, and then put like middle pieces that are tileable. So like as it stretches it, it's not stretching an image. And then technically, I think this is a good first step for a static background, but then that background color you also want to be chroma kit, so that's flushed out, and then you want the game to fill the background color. So this is where I was saying, like, if we can actually get scene management, and this is where we want to make a lot of this way better as we go, is like, we don't want users to have to know how to splice up their UI to make it good. We actually want you to take a UI like this and then, click on the ones you want, and then it just imports it into the game engine, right? Like that's kind of the dream. Because cutting up all your images and everything to make it look good in a game is like a skill in and of itself. Same thing with like HP bars. Like there's an easy way to do it, which is like a uniform fill that you can like take away and put out. But like Tony, I noticed your HP bar has boxes in it. So like as the fill goes down, it looks wonky because there's just a box that's cut off, right? So all the dynamic assets, there's like fun ways to do that, right? But yeah, also the reason I had Tony not iterate, I just want to like double click on that real quick, is because doing 2 images at medium is cheaper than doing 1 image at high. So like those 4 images he just did was 316 credits. these 2 images he did was
We're 40.
Yeah. So, but anyways, like, yeah, now you got super clean. You can choose the one you want. But you see, like, if you started stretching this to the top and right, it's going to start looking wonky. So, like, you may want to say what it's used for, and maybe you want different parameters or something. That's kind of like an easy way to do it now, is like get it closer to the size you want by the description. But I actually think both of those will look good. Also, it looks like the background color is different, but you can play with that.
Can iterate on that one for sure.
Yeah. So anyways, I think this is a good, Tony, explore this and then get some of this swapped in, because I actually think doing some of this, and you can do UI work for other screens, right? You can do the exact same thing for other screens if you don't like the chat bubbles here. I would recommend using similar-ish chat bubbles through your entire website or the entire game.
Yeah.
But I promise you, if you replace all your UI with like clean elements like this, your game will suddenly look like 100% better. And it may only be, like, the crazy thing is, it may only be 3 or 4 elements you replace, right? Like, it may not actually be.
Well, yeah, I mean,
like,
these are the thing that we're replacing here is like 2 images across all of the chat boxes.
Yeah.
I use the same 2 images for all the pop-ups.
Actually, I'm real interested what this save is going to do, because it did not chroma background there correctly at all.
Really?
It should be using the AI clean model. That's why it's taking so long. So it should figure it out. But anyways,
Well,
the UI stuff is not, we haven't invested tons of time in there, but it does work, as you just saw. I
put it on a chroma screen. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You changed it. You probably could just save it and it would work. It just would take a second to do the clean. I personally,
I unclicked remove background. God.
Well, good thing we have a save as now.
Yeah.
A month and a half ago, you would have had to regenerate that image.
That's right.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anyways, unlocked a new thing for you, Tony.
Yeah. I feel like I just got an achievement.
Yeah. Well, and so I was talking about the quest system earlier. We don't know, the first version probably will be pretty simple, but like we'll probably go through a bunch of quests that, like, literally it's like things like this, right? Like, go create a UI mocker or something, right? Like,
go create your first, because like even just that exercise was valuable. Like I haven't done that, right? Like I was like, oh, I think that these pop-ups would look cool, but like just laying them all out like that and using the words industry best practices, like, gave us a much better result.
Yeah. Yep. And it's and you could take those, like, the great thing is you could save the ones you liked as a reference, take your concept art, throw it all into the mix, and like say, oh, I kind of like this, but it's missing this. It needs to be more industrial, blah, 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 blah. Right. You could drop your other characters in. You could keep iterating on it. Now, iterating 4 at a time on GPT Image High 2 is more of a, you're invested in your game and you want to, because I mean, that was like $5 to generate that's the problem with the really good AI models, is they're not cheap. So,
but again, if I was paying someone to make my UI, I'd be paying them $1,000. So, if I did that 10 times and I spent $50, I'm still way ahead. Yeah,
if you literally went and paid someone on Fiverr, the cheapest person you found, to do a set of UI panels for your game and like send you over, it'd be $50 easy. So,
well, that was awesome. Thanks everyone for paying attention and walking through Sector Scavengers with us. I've got some fun stuff to do next week, or this week, to show off next week, and I'm excited for the first time that I get to pull this up and Jeremy be like, man, that looks great. And it's going to happen. It's going to, next 3 months, it's going to happen. But let's move on. Let's pull up.
I already did that. I told you your title screen looks great.
I know. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing. No, honestly, guys, like, this is the only way that your game gets better. I have a couple of different people that I run through the game with. And they all kind of bring a different flavor of feedback. My two buddies that I play video games with on Mondays, they really like they play the game and like get into the mechanics and give me like real like structural feedback on like, is this fun, is this not fun, and they don't look at anything about how the game is like looking and feeling, and because this is something that we're showing off as part of the business, Jeremy just has a completely different lens, and it's great because it helps me make the game fun and look good at the same time. And I think that if you're making a game, and especially if you haven't ever made a game before, I would encourage you to find someone either in your life or online that you can bother once a month to give you really critical feedback on your game, because it's so valuable. And it's really like at the end of this week, I'm gonna feel great when I look at this thing and it looks a lot better. And it's just it's a fun feeling.
Yeah. And I actually just had an idea. So there's a couple things I feel like there's at least two I can think of. I feel like you've learned over the last like month or two between Letta and this UI workflow right now is I wonder if we should just add like pinned help articles to the dashboard and then do some of these like maybe not obvious things. And like we can even link to Letta's YouTube video for some if we want to do some of what he did. Because even just componentizing UI elements, Tony was like just taking entire images and just splicing them into the game, right? Like that is not how you build UI in any system. So if you've built UI in web or video games or anything, that is not how you build UI, but that's not exactly obvious for people that haven't done it. So maybe, and it's not even just UI, just everything in your game, right? Like you wouldn't take a static image with your character in it and expect your character to move, but people are expecting to take static images of other things and expecting it to work out, right? So I don't know, maybe we think of like our top 3, make sure we got help articles, and then pin those on the dashboard somewhere.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Like even like before you get started, right?
Yeah.
Like spend 5 minutes reading this, right? And we get it down to a really pithy, quick read that they can maybe like click on a video and go watch, or maybe we embed it or something. But I do think like I do think even just like one of these aha moments would be really valuable for people to understand, like, oh, there's a bunch of stuff that if I just spend a few minutes like doing, it will save me not only a bunch of time on the back end, but it'll like look better from the start. Like I think there's a lot of value there.
Yeah, I really think that if we were able to embed that video in there, I've seen a lot of people looking at the different videos that we have on the website already, just within the guide, the help articles, the guidebooks, and the front page, the homepage. And so I think that would be really helpful too. And even with the new quest system too, if we could embed a video for that specific quest.
I love this.
All right, cool.
Awesome. Well, hey, also, I think we're all doing a great job, guys, of the 3-second rule. I just want to say the 3-second pause is working. I don't think that we've interrupted each other once, and I just want to call us out and say, good for us, guys.
Good for us. I have interrupted you once, I think.
But. It's okay. It's okay. All right, Brandon, let's go.
Let's go. All right, so now we're gonna go into our Rift Runners game design. Last week we were trying to figure out how we could bring the fun in, so we did a lot of iteration on the different pillars, this game design doc that we have right here, and we just did a lot of collaboration on where we wanted the game to go for the prototype. So we have our game design doc that we showed last week here. I just wanted to re-go over excuse me, the 3 pillars that we have here that will be the most important aspect of our game. And so, and everything that we develop in the game has to abide by these 3 pillars. And if they go outside of the 3 pillars, then it has to be very intentional, or we have to know that we're changing the core of the game. And so our first one here is discovery rides on 2 scenes kept in balance. And so this has our time swap mechanic in here. where we have signals within our level saying, hey, there's something in era 1 that is blocked, and era 2 has something that can unblock it, or a secret. And so you can swap between those. Our second pillar here, the swap is always available and never punishing. So you're able to swap whenever you want. It's not just when there's a tell in the level or a specific area. You can swap whenever you want, and you'll get to explore that era as much as you can before you hit a next blocker or puzzle or secret. And then the third one here is loud first, quiet later. And this is all of the tells that we have, like a glimmer or a shaking platform, or whatever we want to do to get users used to our time swap mechanic. It'll be loud first, very obvious, maybe even a literal sign that says, press this key, like a type of tutorial. And then it will teach the player how to use the mechanic. So the thing that I was kind of thinking of was, I don't know, Horizon Zero Dawn came to mind, because whenever you're traversing or climbing in the very beginning of the game, it's teaching you like, hey, look for these yellow ledges or these flags that are coming down from a platform to figure out a good area to climb up and use part of their game mechanic. And so that's what I think of here when it's loud first, quiet later, where we're not going to be like, hey, press the time swap button to go to the other era. We will just have that yellow ledge or that little glimmer or that platform that's shaking to say, hey, there's something different here. Go into the time swap, go to the next era, and find that secret.
And I want to highlight something on 2, because we didn't really talk about the never punishing thing much. So one thing that is like vitally important to the game, and we spent a ton of time discussing this, is that like if you try something and you fail, it's not like you go back 30 minutes, right? So like think of like if you open a treasure chest and there's like 10 orbs you got to get in 20 seconds. It's not that there's no skill-based puzzles in the game. It's just that if they're going to be like short little puzzles that if you fail them, you just try them over and try them over and try them over until you get it. And that's actually like pretty important part of that, because a lot of games, you know, like think like Dark Souls, it's like you die and you go back forever, and you have to do it over and over and over again, and same puzzles, same combat, but it's very punishing when you die. That is the opposite of what we want, and that's what we mean by never punishing. Not that you can't lose, but that it doesn't feel like you just wasted half your night if you lose.
That's right. I think that's a really good distinction too, because in our first iteration of trying to find the fun, we were focused on a roguelike type of thing that was a little punishing, where you would lose all of your orbs or whatever when you died, and then you go back to the beginning of the level. And so, yeah, this is a very good distinction, that this is more exploration based, secret finding based type of gameplay, where you can still fail, but it won't punish. Yes. Yep. And so based off of all of these aspects of the game design here, I created another document that are the main mechanics. So Tony and I sat down together. We went over the pillars, and we decided, we just started writing down different mechanics that we thought that we needed to implement in our prototype to actually get to our fun prototype that we envisioned in the game design doc. And so our first one here is time swap. And then I also wrote down the pillar that it aligned with. And then we kind of went over a brief description of what we thought it was, as well as an example of how it would work in the game as a mechanic. And so the time swap here, we will have 2 eras. You will start in era 1, you'll swap to era 2, and you'll be able to swap back and forth no matter what. The 2 eras will share very similar geometries, and so meaning just the shapes or the platforms in the level. But era 1 will have a blocker, and then era 2 you will need to swap to, and the blocker will be gone. And so that's the differences. The differences can be the solid geometries, hazards, other tell objects, So I try to give some examples here, like an electrified floor that is electrified in your Era 1, but maybe there's new construction going on in Era 2, whatever. It's not electrified in Era 2. Yeah. And then we'll have a quick transition to the other era. I thought that that was kind of important because we don't want to jar the player just going back and forth. But I think that we should have a short transition period, a fraction of a second, nothing long. And then we have our movement that we have here. So that's pillar 1. I think it's really important to have a good flow through parkour movement. And so I went over the different states that we can go through when controlling the character. The most important one is jumping from platform to platform. That one's pretty self-explanatory and is already in our game. Then the other one is wall sliding. Wall sliding, I think, is a fun mechanic because you can change the vertical. I don't know, it has like a whole new vertical element to the game where you start here, you slide all the way down, you jump off. And so that's our second one, wall jumping. And you can jump off to another platform. So you can get to places that a normal non-parkour character would normally struggle with. And then the other one, Tony, I don't know if we actually talked about dash slide.
We did not, and it made, as I saw this, it made me think we definitely need a dash slide, but we need just a standard dash too. Like we need to be able to dash in the air.
Yeah, that sounds good. So let's add that.
We should add that. Yeah, we should add a dash. You know, one of our community members, I think it was Blurry Face, made a game for the latest contest that we did, and it was really cute, and he had a great dash mechanic in it and great wall sliding and wall jumping and chimney climbing.
Oh really? That's awesome. Yeah, so I guess it'll dash in, or I'll just say increase the speed, right?
For a short distance, for a short, like a short burst of speed. Yeah, there you go. It's short distance. There we go.
Yeah. And then how does this behave in the air? So if you're mid jump and you hit the dash button, will you then change your direction?
You should dash either default the direction you're moving or the direction that you are holding, right? Like if you're jumping right and you hit dash, you should dash right. If you're jumping right and then you press A and the dash button, you should dash left. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you don't need to add that. That last part's confusing. You always dash in the direction the character's facing. That's the way you want to say it.
Well, what if I'm just jumping straight up and then there's a wall to my left? Can I hit the left directional button and then hit dash to then do like a wall slide or a wall jump off of that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So then this last part is when the player's jumping, the dash will work in the direction that the user is holding. So mid-air, jump up, hold left on the keypad, hit dash, dash left. There you go. So just a couple of instructions there. Yeah, so I think that's good. Then our other one that we went over is our world tell. So this one was kind of funny because I think the AI struggled with this one the most, where we said that we wanted it to be very visible in the beginning and then not as visible later on. And it took that as literal visibility, where it's like, oh, I'm going to add an alpha mechanic or a transparency mechanic to your tells.
Like a fog of war.
I guess, yeah. But yeah, so this would be our world tells is some sort of a sign. And so we thought that it was important that the world tell would either be visual or movement based, right?
Yes.
And so this one, so that's pillar 1 and pillar 3 right here. So swapping over to a new area reveals a new path or a new secret, and there will be very obvious signs. And so that would be, I think right now I'm actually thinking of some sort of just a rift in time. I don't like, we can change what that asset looks like, but it'll be like some sort of rift distortion within the rift. Be like, hey, we can switch over. Something doesn't look right here. You can switch over. And it can sparkle. That's fine.
It needs to sparkle for sure.
There we go. And then the other ones, the movement-based ones, we're bringing up examples of a tremor or a platform that's moving, kind of like a tremor. And then if something is moving like that, then you can swap over. Do we think that that's an okay sign?
Yeah, I think things shaking, things moving, even like, you know, in Castlevania, it's often just like a brick in the wall is cracked, right? One of the tiles that you know, it has a visible crack in it. That's not really movement though. I think of that more as environmental. When I think movement, I think things like gusts of wind blowing that you can visually see that would indicate that you want to dash, right? That maybe those gusts of wind give you a little extra push, or a you know, for the early ones where we want it to be loud, it could even be like an NPC like running off the ledge, like trying to jump and not making it, right? Like that, you know what I mean? But I think we want to make the movement ones
So we're talking
intuitive that you need to. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I'm thinking like anti-gravity or extra gravity too, like something like that. I like your gust of wind idea.
Yeah, and like contrast. Jeremy was using contrast, so maybe it's stuck in my head. But like the chimney, you can make the chimney climb more obvious by adding a trap to the other side of the chimney climb to make it clear that like you have to avoid something when you're jumping back and forth, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you need to avoid something. Maybe if you switch to a new area, that trap is gone.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can't do the chimney climb because of the trap, and the only way to get rid of the trap is to do the time shift, right? That's how I would think about that. And then like we have a dash slide, so you could need to dash slide under something, but there could be toxic waste underneath it, and then when you time shift, the toxic waste is gone, and so you don't melt when you're sliding through it.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
The hunt.
The hunt.
The hunt.
Yes.
Also,
So-
I don't know how to use YouTube, but Jimmy did say hi, Jens, a while ago. Just want to call him out.
Oh, hey Jimmy.
I don't know if he's still there. It didn't show me watching or in the conversation, but YouTube's a little bit different. And also, how do I change my nickname on Google? Because my nickname is great. It's a bunch of my name and numbers.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, you got to fix that.
4428.
So if it was your address.
Yeah. Or my password. Hunter, what is it? Hunter 27 or something?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, so we have the hunt here, and we added this mechanic in here because we do need our completion mechanic in the game too, based off of our pillars. And so we have an exploration-based discovery where the player can look for signs of secrets. So that plays into kind of our world tell mechanic as well. And you can backtrack at any point in the level to go back and get the rift key. Maybe there was some sort of a movement-based tell that you didn't want to do, and there's another branch that you wanted to explore first. So you can go explore that branch first, then do like the gust of wind to jump a platform to then find the rift key and complete the level. And so that's kind of the hunt is you can backtrack, you can explore. The levels will have branches that you can go off and probably later collect different collectibles. But right now we're not going to have collectibles. We're going to keep it simple with a rift key. And when you collect the rift key, you complete the level.
So I'm very confused. Somehow I have YouTube Premium. I don't know how.
Gift. I don't know.
Maybe I subscribed to the cheap Google for the AI stuff. No, because I don't think that I don't know. Maybe Google Fiber added YouTube Premium.
I
Just
just
a
like
random
that.
thing while I'm looking at this. So
I like that you have Google Fiber.
I also like that I have Google Fiber. Google
Yep.
Fiber is great. It
So we're
is definitely the best internet I've ever had.
so are we ready to jump in and see what you've been working on, Brandon?
Well, yeah. So what I've been working on a lot is just what helps me is different documentation, just to make sure that I'm understanding what I'm doing and reviewing. So we don't need to go through all of the documentation here, but based off of these two things, I was able to create just a different set of requirements that we have in a PRD here. So I'm just going to call out a couple of them here. And so we want a dual mode bounty board. And so that's the very first thing, is that we've had a bunch of procedurally generated logic in our game that we don't want to throw away. We might use it later, but we're not going to use it right now. And so that's going to be off to the side and still going to be selectable in the game. If you select that bounty, it'll still go through all the procedurally generated levels and stuff. So we can kind of mess around with that and compare which one's better if we want to. But then the other part of the bounty board is just going to be going into this 100% handcrafted level. So the idea here is to have a level, a whole scene within Godot that's its own tile set, and then, or actually a tile set layer within Godot. And then that tile set layer will be arrow 1. It'll have its own physics layer as well. And when we hit the swap button, we will go between a tile set. We'll go to the next tile set layer, which is arrow 2 tile set layer, and we'll change our physics layer that the player collides with that physics layer. And so that kind of plays into the requirement 2 as well, collision layer model for our dual world. But I also wanted to add a requirement here to where we have time to just build the game too, or build our tiny little swap mechanic, so we can add our little roadblock and then swap to the second era that doesn't have that roadblock anymore. And then I also came up with a bunch of different phases for implementation. So this is a really big technical design document that helped me just, because I'm also still learning Godot, and I just wanted to go through and get the different nodes and the what Godot calls everything. I just wanted to read through that just to see like how we can structure everything appropriately, so we can have our handcrafted levels one era at a time. And so our phases that we have here, we have our dual mode bounty board, which will be our first phase. And so that is preserving our procedurally generated stuff, but then also adding on a separate path so we can get to our tile set layers that we're going to create for our different eras. And then after that, we're going to add more of our dual world collision models and be able to actually swap. And then within here, we're going to hand paint arrow 1 and arrow 2 geometry using Godot. And then another thing is like we want safety swap. We don't want anything to be like punishing or anything. So if you swap and let's say you have a blocker in arrow 1, you swap to arrow 2 and you go over top that blocker in arrow 1 and you swap back to arrow 1, it's not going to kill you or anything. It's going to either move you, tell you that you can't swap, or something friendly. And then, so I think we're just going to start with those 3 phases. I don't think we're going to get past all that because we have a little bit of implementation and then level design that we want to do in those. But the important part is that we just have a phased out plan of how we want to implement everything. Cool. So I also did create a phase 1 dual mode bounty board, like plan. And so this is what the AI is actually going to look at to implement phase one.
So I can give. I don't think any of our viewers are gonna do all these design docs. So is there a way? So like, what I'm really interested in is the next step in our finding the fun is prototyping the mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not actually super interested in a full TDD because like we may not even follow any of it. We may throw it all away, and I think it's just getting ahead of ourselves. In general. And so like what I'm really interested in is like what are the top mechanics we need to prove out to see if they feel good? Like literally top 3, and let's start with one. I think it's much simpler than what we're doing here. I think it's just like I don't want you to just say implement a TDD on the stream. That's really bad streaming content. That is actually bad streaming content. I want it to be more interactive. Like what are we doing? Like, why are we making these decisions? Like coming in with a bunch of spec files and saying implement spec files is pretty not interesting to watch, right?
Yeah.
Would you go watch someone implementing a bunch of massive spec files? I guess would be the question.
Right. And so we can the spec file is just more for me to understand. But yeah, we'll go in. We'll talk about what we want. And
you just said implement the TDD, so that's not true.
Let's cancel that.
I think it's great. Do whatever you need to do to understand, to get your bearings, to like understand like a roadmap. That's fine. But you did just say implement the TDD, so I don't think it was just for you to understand. I think you wanted to implement it. And so, but first question, what are the top 3 mechanics we want to implement, and what mechanic do we want to start with?
Yeah, great question. So our very first mechanic that we want to get going is the time swap mechanic. I think that is the core of the fun that we found here, and we just want to prove that out. And so the first step here is to get our existing bounty board. So if we go into Godot here, play our Rift Runner game. So this is what I'm talking about when I say the bounty board. Whenever we click on one of these levels, it'll take us to a procedurally generated area. So we don't want that. We want to click on a bounty and go to an era, our new era system. We're going to want to go to era 1. So we need to actually program that.
So I have a quick question. Why do you believe the menus are the place to start prototyping the game? Why wouldn't we just load a scene at game start and start prototyping mechanics?
Oh yeah, I think that is very valid too. We only have the bounty board in here because it was already done. And so we can totally skip that if we want as well and just load into the scene.
Yeah, and since it's there, it's fine. I just want to make sure the audience understands, like, I mean, you can start with menus and things, but you want to be as close to finding the fun as possible. And so finding the fun is not menus. Unless your game's like an auto clicker and it's all about progression. And like, if your game is an action game, though, a platform or something you're playing, the fun is not the menus. You can always add menus on top. And so the common way and the quickest way to get in to see if your game's actually fun to play is just start creating scenes that you can play. Either way is fine. It's just I don't know how long it'll take to sub out the menus. I also we talked about this earlier, Brandon, but I just want to reiterate it for the audience. We already have procedurally generated things, so we're in the prototyping phase now, not the polish phase. So don't be overly concerned with killing what you have there or deleting what you have there. Like, just leave it and create something else. Because you may actually go back and want to do procedurally generated stuff. Making games is very creative, and you might change your mind every other day on like what's fun. And so you don't want to just be smashing what you have. That's a very, very bad idea for games. Because if you go smash what you have, even if you have Git, even if it's source controlled, in a week you may be like, oh, I want to extend that thing I was trying. And then suddenly you have to go redo all the work. So it doesn't hurt to have files there. It doesn't hurt to leave them there. I mean, I guess if you got extreme OCD and you can't have files hanging around, you gotta do what you gotta do. But usually, you know, we may have 20 scenes, and this is why even the menus along with like the bounty board and doing all that, that's not even the menu I would want right now. I would want menus to switch between scenes so I can easily test different mechanics or different variations of the mechanics.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense too, because you don't want to have to replay the entire level to go test out one specific mechanic. If it only exists in that part, you would just have a different way to get there and test it out.
And yes, and the way you prototype is vastly different than the way you make a finished game, right? Like the goal here, and I just want to reiterate this for like the 20th time, the goal is to find the fun. Until we found the fun, you're not polishing, you're not creating the entire game. It's oftentimes why if you go on Reddit or somewhere, you'll see someone who just has a level with stock assets, and they're just running through doing different mechanics. The cat game, they had an entire level basically where you were going through with the cat and you weren't actually doing anything. You were just doing the mechanics of the game, and it's all just checkerboard stuff. There's games that are parkour where you're going through an entire level, but all it is like the stock humanoid running through the level and bouncing off things. So the real point there is, though, like they do that before they're trying to plan out their entire game. I think getting ahead of planning out your entire game is just a fool's errand. Even if and with AI assisted tools. And I actually think AI assisted tools make this worse if you're not familiar with it. Just because, you know, you're in here trying to use, so Arcflow is a framework I use for like web stuff, generate PRDs and then designs and all of these things. And that's great if you know what you're doing, but for games, you're not just trying to create a UI for games. You're trying to find fun, which is not something the AI will do for you.
Yeah. So is it okay if I like ask it to look at some decisions that we've already made in this directory here?
Yeah, but I would not use Arcflow for this at all. It's a very slow process. And so for games and streams, we want it to be a much faster, streamlined process. Arcflow, though, is like really good if you know where you're going and you know what you want to do and you just want to automate it. But it is not good for iterative, creative workflows. It was not designed to be a creative workflow. It was designed to be everything you're doing already, do it all.
So I'm just going to put it in the plan mode right now. It will look at just kind of the decisions that we've made already with our game design doc that it is in that directory. And then, but with the direction of, hey, we do want to go in and adjust the bounty board to have a specific bounty just to test the time swap mechanic. So I just want to get that running so we can just go through it and look through it.
Okay, so we're going to do time swap, and then what are we doing after time swap?
Then after time swap, we're going to do. So it's either between the time swap like transition, which seems more polished to me, so we can skip that, and it'll be more about the different tells that we have in there. I think the tells are a good mechanic that we can look at. So it is, what do we want to put into the game that symbolizes that we should time swap? And how do we want to train the player that they can time swap here without a very obvious sign?
Pushing back on that, is the tutorial really the fun? Like, why are we jumping straight to tutorials? So in my opinion, what I would do is the time swap's important, but I would do a puzzle. Right, I would do a time swap and a puzzle. Like, we're prototyping, so you don't need tutorials. You don't need. I don't really think the tell is whether the game is fun or not. That's more of how you tell the player to do it. It's more of like, why do you know? That's always how I'm thinking. Like, so at its core, what do they collectively do to produce something, right? Like they time swap, puzzle, you move on, right? Like that's your first prototype. because if you can't find a single puzzle that's fun in that loop, we need to go back to the design phase.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I was going to put a puzzle into the beginning, but it's good to call that out specifically. So yeah, time swap mechanic we can break down into era 1, era 2, a key to then switch between eras. We can see it changing, and then we'll add that blocker in era 1 and the path free in era 2, and then we can get more complex after that.
Right. And the other thing you might do is you might do 25 different scenes with different puzzle types, right? Before you ever do the indicator, before you ever try to smash them together. Because, and I think this is just where find the fun is. Usually in a game studio, you have a game designer doing all this and the engineer just goes and executes it. That's why I think you're seeing Brandon want to just execute the plan. Is designing is a very different skill set than implementing, and designing is all about what are the tight loops, how do we do this, let's play them, let's find them out. And this is actually where AI in my mind, and this is how we're positioning our company in the long term, is, or in the medium term I should say, is extremely good. Is once we build our design studio, we're going to be able to prototype all these different tight mechanic loops, and now we'll build it to where the AI can help funnel a lot of this. Brandon's doing this all on his own, so it's very open-ended. But we'll be able to just go in and say, okay, we're going to prototype these 25 mechanics, and then you're going to be able to find the one you think is the most fun. So you won't even have to decide what your pillars are until you've prototyped 25 different games, right? Or 25 different mechanics. And so we're going to kind of change this to where instead of thinking about is this fun, you're playing it and is it fun. And that's where I believe this is really powerful for indies, for even for big studios, because a big studio can take all their game designers come in, each one of them can prototype 25 variations. They can go have a game jam over a week, they all play them at their top 3 at the end, and then they vote on all the mechanics or pull the ones they want, and then they can generate one with all the combination of the ones they want. And the important thing is when you're prototyping, you are not creating finalized software. Most prototypes get thrown away in some capacity. This is also going to be a big difference for you, Brandon, because this is not how most of your career's been at Amazon, where you build something and throw it away immediately, but that is how prototyping games is, right? Mm-hmm. You, in the prototype phase, it is a very different ball game than when you're on the production pipeline creating finalized things. Like at Amazon, we would never spend a month prototyping and throw all the code away. Like our managers would lose their mind if we did that. But that is very normal in the early stages of game dev. That is also why game teams are very small at first, right? Because they're very hyper focused. Even, like the Riot MMO was like 5 or 6 people for how many years until they started scaling it out. Well, those 5 or 6 people were not making UIs. They were not making visual tells. What they were doing was core game loops where they could go play with 1 or 2 characters or 1 or 2 kits and just see, is it fun? And my guess is they threw many builds away. So.
Oh yeah, I think that's a really good call. I don't think the managers would only lose their minds, they'd probably also lose their jobs. If we spent a bunch of time doing ideation and then threw it all away. But I think that is one of the biggest benefits with what we're doing here. It doesn't matter your background that you're coming from, what you're good at, what you're not. You can utilize AI to go in and do a good design and then ideate and then throw away what's not fun and then improve on what is fun. So I've created a few more next steps here. So I wanted to also make sure that we're intentional about our dash and dash slide mechanic here, and then have a puzzle around that. We could do the same thing with like a wall jump if we wanted to, but I think that these two are unique enough. And then I think that we should string some puzzles together and some platforms together. To create something that we can flow through with our movement mechanics. And then after we do that, I think we do the, do we do the hunt next, which is putting the rift key in the level?
I'm muted.
You're good.
Yeah, I think what we want to do for next step is like create a scene with a puzzle in it.
Yes.
Like that is the next step.
Yep.
Create a scene with a puzzle in it.
Yeah, so we want our time swap mechanic. Yeah. So then we can do our time swap puzzle. So that's step 1. Let me just number them. Yeah. So time swap mechanic. Then this is the one that you're talking about, right, Tony? A puzzle for the time swap mechanic.
Yeah, well, I think like yes, but and then like the third one is where I think like we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. I think we want to categorize this as let's go make a scene and test it. And then we can create multiples of that scene, right?
Well, wouldn't we want to take a step back and like see if we do have a fun time swap mechanic with a couple of fun puzzles before we create a scene with the time swap mechanic in it?
How would we know if they're fun if there's no scene to play with them?
I think maybe we're talking about like the same thing here, where a scene would be like that puzzle, and we'd string them kind of together.
Oh, okay.
All right, Tony, re-say what you were saying. I'll try to.
Yeah, I think that the next step here is just make one puzzle and play it.
Well, I think that is what we're doing, right, Brandon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do with the different puzzles. And so that would be, I guess this is kind of, I could change this to, well, these are like two different puzzles.
Yeah, maybe that's confusing. Delete everything aside from 1 and 2.
That's what I was saying.
Like Brandon, you're really trying to plan out the entire thing. It's a simple thing. Let's create.
Like I just want to get a puzzle, and
then and then we'll move on from there. We don't need the next 20 steps. Let's just get a puzzle working.
Yeah,
then we can talk about it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so it's asking a clarifying question in here about what actually exists, which is the procedurally generated game, and what does not exist yet, which is our swapping, our time swap. And so I want it to just read through the little options. Time swap mechanic isn't implemented yet. What do we want to be actually testable? I think this is
minimal working swap.
Yeah. And it'll have, yeah, just a different, I don't know about the last part though, chains with midair. So we just want the first 2 bullet points. Oh my gosh. Swap input. There we go. Okay. So how should the handcrafted level launch from the bounty board in return? Lightweight direction launch or a dedicated level host? I mean, I do want to. Yeah, we can do lightweight now. We can go level host later. I mean, level host I think is a Godot, or that would be a Godot specific thing.
Jimmy has some good feedback. Whatever the player will be spending the most of their time doing is what we should be prototyping first. If the puzzle is the core loop, but the player has to spend a bunch of time jumping and dashing to get to them, if the dash feels like crap, they might not even get to the fun. I said, Jimmy spitting facts.
That is true. I figured maybe I'm assuming wrong. I figured like the dashes and things would be part of the puzzle. So this is why I didn't want to go to like, oh, we're making 10 puzzles, because in my mind, and maybe we should say this out loud, in my mind, you're building this mechanic, it's a swap to the puzzle, and then we're going to build a puzzle that you have to dash and do that. So we're going to have to make that feel good to make the first puzzle work.
Yeah, and that I think
that's why focusing on like 25 puzzles, or we're going to extend it to puzzles and change puzzles, isn't interesting to me. And maybe we should explicitly say, like, and we can talk about this, is the AI doing stuff, because we can talk about this while it's going, is like what yeah, it's all right, it's going, like, what do we think should be involved in the MVP puzzle would maybe be, because there's a lot of implications here.
Yeah, so I think it's movement and discovery.
Well, should we have one puzzle based off of one specific movement mechanic?
No, I think this prototype should be, you have to dash, slide, wall jump, right, and see something. Like, it should just be a full prototype of a puzzle.
Yeah, Brandon, I'm gonna put words in your mouth, but what it feels like you're thinking of prototyping the implementation of it, where really the goal here. So you're thinking like, oh, I need a puzzle to implement this specific thing, but really the goal of the prototype is to see the full game loop and if it's fun. So there's actually a lot of things we have to implement to get to that prototype.
So I think it needs to have a section that the user must use movement skills to traverse. Like, that is a P0. Another P0 is there must be a visual tell that the player has to recognize an era swap and time swap in order to progress through. Like, those two things are core mechanics to the game, right?
Tony just switched to his Amazon language.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. I thought you did it on purpose. I thought you're like, all right, we're going to start saying P0s and.
No, I say P's. I get into the P's in this because whenever we start talking about extra features, I don't know if you guys have ever played Deep Rock Galactic, but my friends and I say that they spent all of their times on the P2s. It's incredible. Like, they have like matchmaking and setting and like kicking the game off. Things that would normally be P0s are terrible and clunky, but going to the bar in the game and ordering a beer is like the smoothest, best feeling part of the game. It has nothing to do with the game, but it's the smoothest, best parting feel of it. Best feeling part of it.
It was probably an intern project, you know. It's probably like the intern was like, serve the bar, and he had the whole summer to do it. So he just made it awesome.
It made it incredible. Cool. So yeah, let's go back to that doc, Brandon.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I was just trying to catch up on the plan because the AI is done with its plan.
Oh, it is, my bad. Let's see what it did.
Yeah, so it is trying, like, it's giving a little context into what it wants to do here and how we want to have a dual mode bounty board. Well, it says dual mode bounty board, but that's just going to our specific puzzle scene. Then it wants to build the smallest real thing, which is a handcrafted 2-era sandbox scene. And so that's what we can use to then handcraft our puzzles that we're talking about. Cool. So this sounds like it's what we want. I'm just making sure it's not anything extra. Okay. Yeah, so we'll verify with headless parse. Okay, I'm going to say, yep. We're going to start that off, and then I'll go back to our design doc. All right, Tony, so what was your idea for this?
Well, I think the movement skills, we should like list them so we make sure we do all of them and that they feel good. So it's like wall dash, slide, jump.
Wall slide, wall jump, dash, dash, slide. I think these are the big ones.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I'm just going to be specific here just for myself, but we want all of them, of these in the first puzzle.
Yep. I think we're using puzzle and prototype level interchangeably here.
Yeah, so let's just go back to prototype.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then that makes the puzzle make more sense there. And then I think that the puzzle needs a solution. Like that is a requirement. And I think that we leave that intentionally vague so that we can like mess with what the solution might be. Maybe it's time based, maybe it's collection based, maybe it's discovery based, right? But it needs a solution.
Well, I think it should be collection based, the very first one. So we'll put the rift key at the end. You have to use your movement skills
to collect it.
Yep.
Cool.
Just a reminder, these are not set in stone too. These are just to get you going. I'm gonna keep saying it. Prototyping is not like building software that you know what you're doing.
We're gonna throw a bunch of it away.
Yeah, very loose. We're gonna whatever we feel like when we get there. Oh, you know, it'd be awesome if we do this thing here. That is what prototyping is brainstorming of coding is the way to think about it. Is like you get something out there, you're doing it, and it triggers ideas, and you can keep doing it. And honestly, if you finish a prototype phase without changing any of your design documents, you're either the best game designer in the world or your prototype phase,
right.
Yeah, wasn't good.
Yeah, I think that sounds pretty cool. I mean, there's definitely.
And for those of you that are tuning in, I just want to remind everyone that if you want to hang out in Discord with us, if you want to win free video games and contests, if you want to hang out and learn how to make stuff better, we have office hours on Fridays at noon Pacific. Our Discord is discord.gg/Makko. Join and hang out and ask us questions and win some free stuff.
Yeah, it'd be fun to meet everyone in Discord too. Hang out. So it looks
still verifying. It's doing stuff still.
Yeah, I mean, this is another thing that I've noticed with the Godot MCP is that it likes to do a lot of verification, which is fine. It's just probably going to pop up the game and be like, oh, yeah, there's this specific thing ready to go. So then we can do other things. So what do you all think, like, the best way is to start with the puzzle? Or it's like, do we just want to go into Godot, take a couple platforms, move them around, and then like have the player spawn and just go mess around? Do we want to have like a more like high level vision?
We already have stuff implemented, right? So like the jump and wall slide are implemented. So I would just get a basic level where we can basically start rigging each mechanic and then work through each mechanic in order, get them functioning, and then you can go start placing things. Does that make sense?
Yep, that makes sense. So I'm just reading through what it actually completed here. I believe that okay. So let's just see what it did in here. So we're in Godot, reload, play it. So time swap sandbox. Sweet. Looks like we need.
Does the Godot MCP do like level placements and stuff? Can you tell it to like set up a basic platformer?
Yeah.
I did notice in the new Unity promotion for, what is it, 5.8, or not Unity, Unreal 5.8. One of the big things they're really pushing is that the AI can design your levels and scenes and everything through the MCP. The feedback I've read online is not that it works well, but
Yeah, I thought a lot of the Unreal Engine 6 upgrades that they were doing seemed very useful, and it just proves that their engine is extremely powerful. Like creating that level, like what you're talking about, seems very, very useful. And then even in the 3D space, it just seems crazy that they can go in, look at your movements, and then animate your 3D model based off of your movement that you're doing outside or like in your house somewhere. And so I just told it, can you just add a platform for the player, add a bunch of platforms that we can jump to in the tile map layer, so then we can just move things around. So it's going to set up that scene so we can do that.
yeah, and I do think AI is a good way to get things, even if the staging sucks. It's a good way to get to a starting point, and then you can take it from there.
Yeah.
Because if you're using a game, and this is where in Makko we want to build the level designers and all that stuff into the software. If you are trying to hand tweak things, it's just like the UI, what I was showing in Makko, changing values, rebuilding. You do not want to go to the AI and be like, move this 1 pixel, or move this, or I can't really make the jump. Like, that's really painful. As you're handcrafting levels, you want to be able to go in, just move the platform a little bit and be like, oh, this is way too hard to make. Because games are so much about feel that if you are not actually doing the thing and finding what it feels like, it's kind of worthless. That's why procedurally generated stuff is hard, not because generating stuff is hard, but making generated stuff feel good is hard. And actually, rules engines for procedurally generated are very, very, very they're created through a lot of pain and trial and error, and even then it's a lot of QA to go through and be like, oh, whenever I hit this thing, it's like a pain. That's why things like Diablo are a lot easier to do procedurally generated, because it's just levels that you're running through, and there might be a section with like too many bosses every now and then, but that's a lot easier to get through than this gap is literally unjumpable or almost unjumpable unless you do some iframe hack thing that's not even intentional in the core gameplay.
But sometimes you want it to feel just like almost that thing that Jeremy just described.
Yeah. But if
not
you
quite.
can't do it, I would say this: if you can't do it and your QA can't do it, and you're your QA when you're a team of one,
Yeah,
your players can't do it.
100%.
Yeah, that's right, Jimmy. And I think this is where people say AI slop is they so Jimmy said it's the exact reason most AI games get so much flack these days. It's a race to the program a bunch of systems together without any attention field pacing. And I think it's exactly right. And we actually got to see Brandon doing this, and it's not just AI slop. That I'll correct that. That is how engineers are taught to do things. You're trying to get stuff out as fast as possible, whether you're using AI or not. That's how every big company, every highly paid engineer does things. So a lot of people, that is not how a lot of prototyping and game dev is done, but in almost every other software engineering field, that is how it's done by the time it makes it to engineering, and even for the general game dev team. That's probably how it's done. And so when people are picking up AI and trying to do it, they're making the same mistake everybody else is doing, and that's what AI was trained on. So that's what AI is going to try to do. And my team can attest that I'm just constantly like, no. Like, we got to find the fun. The hardest thing of game dev is making the game fun, not copying mechanics. If all someone had to do was copy World of Warcraft, how many World of Warcraft clones have we had over the years? And
World
how
of
many of them
Lovecraft
are
would be incredible.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, literally it's there, right? But like all these games have failed over the years. And so why have they failed? Because there's no reason to play them. That's why we have, tens of thousands of games on Steam and they're just not great. And then you got random games like Grand Blue Fantasy Relink that come out and they like blow up and they do really good. Most of the player base has never even played Grand Blue Fantasy. Well, why? Well, the game plays well. It's fun. And people like there's a bunch of people that love the Monster Hunter action combat genre that are like, "Oh my god, this is the best game ever." Well, there's literally nothing in there that's that different other than how it plays, right? Like you have progression systems from mobile gacha games. You have the gacha without paying for it. So like there's some interesting things there, but none of those like feel good. It's just the gameplay feels good. Even the progression curve is like very steep and a lot of people just complain about it, but playing the game feels good. This is actually what I bitch about modern WoW all the time is playing the game is tiresome because and they're trying to correct this, but it's tiresome because it's just spamming buttons. Whereas if you go back to classic WoW, it's not spamming buttons, it's much slower, but you actually have to think about what you're doing. And hardcore is a great example, and Tony can give you our hardcore stories. We made it to level 10 a couple times.
Damn Murlocs.
Yeah. And it's just like feeling good. All that to say is feeling good is not necessarily I press a lot of buttons, I do this mechanic thing, whatever. It's fun is so hard to capture and like emotional response is so hard to capture. The only way I can like suggest to people to do it is you get other people to play it, you see their reaction, you do it, you see your own reaction. If you're playing a thing and you just go, wow, that is technically excellent and I'm amazed I did that, but it's not fun or eliciting emotion from you, especially the first couple times you do it. Because the 1000th time you do something, the emotion kind of fades away. Unless if you have a really good loop, it does not. And that's how you get World of Warcraft Classic and all the things that launched games like that stick around for 20 years. But generally things get more boring the more you do it. So, but it's all about feel. It's all about the emotional reaction. Games are not a technical endeavor. They're a creative endeavor that you need technical skill set. This is why AI is so exciting and this is what we're trying to do, pull the creative endeavor out, replace the technical endeavor so that the creatives, you can be creative and make the thing you want. But I think there is some training and misunderstanding that the technical endeavor is what's holding games back. We've had billions of dollars in the game industry for years. It is not the technical skill set that's holding them back. It is definitely game design. A big part is profitability has been holding the game industry back because everybody wants to make $10 billion off their $1 billion investment per year, which is unrealistic. And so the creatives get smashed, and that's why they're not fun. It's like imagine you went to a painting gallery where you had a bunch of in-app purchases and gotchas, and you couldn't actually see the painting gallery until you pulled gotchas, and you had to like gotcha the same images over and over and over again before you saw the actual image you went there to see. It'd be ridiculous, right? But that's kind of what games did. So
What do we got going on here, Brandon?
We've got everything completed here. So it has a new tile set for our Era 1 and Era 2. And yeah, so we can go into the levels. We can go into our swap sandbox level and select our terrain. So let's try that out. Where are our levels? Where are our levels? Let's go. Did it actually create levels? Yes. All right, cool. So we have our swap sandbox here. And then if we go in here we go. So we have.
So what are we in Godot right now?
Yeah, we're in Godot.
Okay.
So we're doing everything in Godot. We just told Claude Code to go fix a bunch of things. And so what we saw before was our player just falling through the earth, falling through the world. And we're like, that's not good. We want them to fall into this platform here. And then I told it to create a couple other platforms that we can jump to. So let me just test this out real quick. Oh yeah, so there we go. So we can go in here, we can move that around. So our tile set looks like garbage right now because we don't have any assets in it, but we should be able to easily
And
add.
that is okay.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
As much as at Makko, we love making assets because that's what we're good at right now. It is okay to be prototyping your game with ugly assets.
Yeah,
true.
Exactly. Yeah, so
Because
then we can.
If you throw all this away and you spent 10 hours just fine tuning how your assets looked, and you just throw it all away and you go with something else, you'll be very sad.
Yep. Yep, exactly. So let's see how this works real quick. Go into our sandbox level. There we go.
Look at that guy. Look
Let
at him
him
jumping.
go. Oh god. We don't have a death mechanic yet in this new level. We don't have a floor to anything. Do I have a way? Oh, there you go. I can hit escape to go back. But yeah, so I guess let's create, I don't know, a type of chimney to climb up. I think that would be interesting.
Real quick question, because this is easy. It will change the feel. Do you actually imagine you're this far back? Because your other prototypes were much more zoomed in. Like this feels more like Mario, where you can see most of the level. Is that? I guess I don't know if we've talked about that. Is that the look and feel we're feeling, or do you want part of it to be memorization of how the map is, or I don't know. Just
yeah, I was thinking more. I want it to be more discovery based. So I think we should zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, like Tony was saying there. Yeah, less Mario, more discovery.
More Sonic, less Mario.
There we go. Except for you can backtrack, unlike Sonic.
Everyone, this is Abby. She came to say hello.
What's up, Abby?
What's up, Abby? When I went to get coffee earlier, Tiger was on the counter. 16-year-old still breaking the rules.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Abby. When I introduced my first dog to Abby, was my wife's cat. To my wife's cat. My wife lived on the 6th floor of an apartment building in Seattle, and my dog barked at this cat, and this cat jumped straight out of the 6-story window, plummeted down to the earth, and she's still fine. I'm not gonna lie though, this is only the second time I'd met my wife, and so as she was running downstairs in tears to retrieve her cat that had just jumped out of a 6-story window, there was a brief moment where I was like, I wonder if I just leave now and never see this person again. I'm glad I didn't do that, but there was a moment where I thought that for sure.
That's awesome.
I like this chimney.
Yeah, we're just doing a little chimney. It's a big chimney. That's all right. So I think we'll go here.
So something that might be interesting is like don't do the solid wall. That's not that's like not really an interesting mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So delete like portions. So instead of all right, so this would be a little hack to eventually, maybe you do want a solid wall and you want visuals and there's things you got to dodge, but when you're prototyping, that's a lot of work. So just remove the wall. So you have to jump in certain points just to make it a little bit harder.
It could be a trap or whatever at one point. But yeah.
I like it.
All of those, anything you can do that really shortcuts work when you're prototyping, but still gets the same sort of feel. As you gotta be creative there.
Yeah. All right, let's try it out. See if how I guessed everything working will work. Oh my gosh. Okay.
And then I would actually,
Jesus. Sorry.
well, yeah, and the level could be designed poorly, or like to me that feels. There's a couple things already before we go farther. Maybe we want to work on.
Yeah.
One, why can't like how do slides work when there's gaps and things? I guess that goes along with our punishing thing. You don't want them to have to start over, just go down. But one of the things that jumps out to me immediately is you should not be able to grab these ledges that are only one tile. So like you should only be able to wall slide when there's a wall.
Right, but it looks like you're wall sliding when, let's see, like right here all the way down.
Nope.
No,
so,
more like on these one tile ones.
Yeah,
right?
so the platforms, you can wall slide on the
Oh.
platforms.
Like here.
So, yeah, so what you keep doing is you can't even make the jump
Yep.
with. So what it should be is for platforming should be, and just talking out loud here, I'm not, it's like you don't have to do this, but in my mind, platforming should be double jumps, dashes, all of that stuff. And I think this is where Jimmy was saying like, hey, you got to make sure all that stuff feels good before you work on a puzzle, because like if it doesn't feel good, and I think he's exactly right, because we're immediately here, right? We got the base level. And to me, this doesn't feel good. And I actually don't think you just want basic jumping, right? Like we talked about, like core to our game is this like dashing and swooshing and stuff. Like, because basic jumping around is not exciting, interesting gameplay.
Yeah.
It was when, Super Mario Brothers originally. But yeah, so like to me, before we go really farther, like we can already, and this is why I didn't want to plan it out too far. We can already do a mini reprioritization here. So jumping works, that's great. Platforms work, that's great. Wall climbs seem super, super, super wonky. So that's a point of priority. We don't have dashing. We don't have double jumping. So I would like figure out what we want to prioritize to make really good there. And this is where prototyping is really actually nice, because you don't need a full level. So if you want to prototype dashing,
Yeah.
you just need one tiny thing to test dashing on. And then you get that one thing feeling really good on dashing, and then you can add on to it.
Yeah. Yeah, so right now we don't actually have dashing as a player state, so we can add that too. The only things that we have right now, well, I guess we can look in Godot. Go into our player state, which I see down here. We have fall, idle, jump, run, slide, wall jump, wall slide. So those are the things that we would need to add to this state right here. So let's add that, because I do think that like dashing would make this level a lot better, because then you're jumping and then you're dashing to a platform. And I think when we're moving around, what would be a good keyboard key for this? Is it the shift button is big?
Shift is
Okay.
normal, yeah. Using a controller.
Yeah.
One of my friends plays a lot, all his games, not all of them, most of his games on PC with mouse and keyboard, and I just try to tell him, dude, sometimes just need that controller, but yeah, shift is like sprint in games, or dash, or it can be both, right? If you're in the air, it can be dash, or you can sprint on the ground. So Tony, what games you playing?
Well, some of the guys got me back into League, and so I've been playing that here and there. I'm an atrocious Jax jungler, but I love it. I can't get enough of it. I'm still plugging through the story in World of Warcraft as well. I just beat the first like chapter of Dragonflight when you fight off the storm dragon, and then the other primals emerge, and you have to go now chase those guys around. So I'm going to do that. And then we got a Switch 2 inspired by Jeremy, and so we've been playing a bunch of the Yoshi game as well. It's really fun.
Nice. Yeah, Kristen's playing the Pokepia game. Yoshi was next on the list, so
It's really good. Yoshi's really good. It's really,
she
really
loves she loves Yoshi. She'll walk around the house all the time, just be like Yoshi.
good. That's awesome.
I wonder how much she does that in her classroom too.
Yeah. Well, when she's not in the classroom anymore, but when she was, yeah, she'd break out game things, and they'd be like, "What? You know what this game is? You know what a game is?" Which, Brandon, I heard you got asked about PUBG in that kindergarten session the other day.
Yeah. All right. So for everyone's context, while AI is building right now, and for everyone's context, I gave a talk to kindergartners yesterday around animals and algorithms, and so after I created a small game and Godot, we went through it, and they told me up, down, left, right, and I put it in a queue or in a list on the right hand side, and then I hit a play button, and a cute little animal went around in a circle, and it did it. And so afterwards, they were asking me like, "Oh, how did you make the game? How did you do all this?" And then one kid was like, "How do you make PUBG?" I'm like, first,
yeah,
and I said, "I'm like, how do you know about PUBG?" I'm like, "Well,
just
anyway."
To remind you, kindergartners are what, like 5 or 6?
Yes,
right?
There was 4-year-olds in this class.
Yeah, like just crazy. Like
that's wild.
Yeah, and so Kristen, or she messages me after that, and she's like, "What is PUBG?" And I'm like, well, it's a battle royale where the last person standing, or you kill everyone else, and if you're last person standing, you win.
That kid's ready to pick the biggest, fattest kid in the yard and beat him up. Yeah. Oh, what does it say? Shift is already bound to the slide.
What?
Yeah, so
yeah. Dash replaces slide, I think.
No.
Well,
because dash is on the ground, right? So dash would be like you need to dash under a barrier.
No, under is slide.
Or sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I said that backwards. But yeah, I mean, you need both of them. So I would say keep both on shift and then press in to give notes, and then say, I think you just want, it already says it. Shift on ground and slide, right? Shift. No, it's number 3. Literally, it says shift on ground is slide, shift and air is dash. So you can just hit enter. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah. And which directions can the player dash in? I would say upward? Yeah, that's a good question. I think only left and right is what we want, right?
Yeah.
Horizontal only. How should an air dash feel physically?
Horizontal.
Which, by the way, this is what I wanted in Makko, these questions, and you guys told me people can't read, so I was very sad. Because this and now Claude showed us like really good UI and stuff on how to do this, and in the early days our UI was bad on this, and you had to manually enter, and so it wasn't great. But I'm tempted to go back to this because the way Claude does this now, and it presents like little mock-ups, and it's just so,
I think it's really good. Yeah,
it's so good, and you get so much better answers. And most importantly, the player can't skip this, right? Like, and you've been using the Claude chat app more, Tony. Yeah. I would rip the UI straight from theirs, where it's like literally you click through the answers. I think it might be time to go back to that because the models are all good enough. The other thing is some of the models like couldn't handle question tool calls. It sounds really weird, but they couldn't. But now they're all much better. So I think it might be time to revisit that, because like literally the first question, usually Claude prioritizes what it thinks it should be done first, but like the first question was number 3, the answer, right? So like we would have gotten a completely different answer. So
Yeah, I agree. I like the multiple choice options in Claude. I think they're really good.
And I like that you can add on to them too. So it could get half of it right, and then you can expand on that for what you're thinking.
yeah. I gotta hit the bathroom real quick. I'll be back. All this coffee.
Just me and you, Brandon.
Well, and your cat, right?
No, Abby left me. She
Aw.
abandoned me.
Yeah, I set up a cat bed right behind me for one of my cats, but they weren't in the room when I shut the door, so they missed out on the stream.
Well, they can't make everything.
Yeah.
Well, while we're waiting for Jeremy, I'll use this opportunity to tell everyone about the Discord again. If you haven't dropped by our Discord yet, it's discord.gg/Makko. We do contests and giveaways every week. You can use Makko and submit the results for a chance to win free video games or Steam gift cards. We also own the AI 2D game art subreddit where we run 2D game art contests every week. And we have an office hours on Fridays at noon Pacific in our Discord. So again, it's discord.gg/Makko. And if you're making art in our platform, check out 2D AI game art on Reddit.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good entries in our 2D game art. A lot of them that I've really liked.
Yeah, yeah. We've got a good crew of like 3 or 4 people that are making stuff consistently. Blurry Face, Akira, Vins.
Yeah, so while you're giving that shout out, they asked us a couple more questions. I think a really cool thing that it asked was, do we want dashes off of wall slides? And I think that that'd be great. So
Yes.
yeah, so not only can you do a wall jump, you can also do a wall dash. And the ground dash is triggered. No, it's shift.
No, because we said shift was slide.
Oh, well, you're on the ground. Yep.
So this is asking what the standing dash is. I think double tap.
Yeah. We can change that later. See what feels good. If we want.
Is this so? Are you in the Archforge thing?
No, we're not using Archforge. No, that's too complex for what we want to do here.
This is just Claude code.
Yeah, so Archforge would be asking me a bunch of design questions, and we'd be reviewing a bunch of technical design documents and phase documents. And so what we want to do is be more fluid here, and we want to be able to go in and describe the phase that we want, and then iterate on that.
Is this Claude code though that you're in, or what is this?
Yeah, this is Claude code right here.
Okay.
Yep. So
I hadn't seen warp up in the corner. I didn't know what that was.
Oh yeah, so warp is my command line interface that I use.
Oh, so not everyone would see warp.
No, you can use whatever command line interface. I mean, you don't even need to use a CLI for Claude Code. You can just use their web browser or their app.
Got it.
Well, you can't use their web browser.
Oh, for Cloud Code? That shows you how much I use Cloud Code on the web browser.
Well, how would the web browser change files on your computer?
Yep.
That would be a massive security hole if web browsers could just change all your files. For the audience, web browsers cannot do that. So what the Claude app though the Claude app is on both Windows, Mac, all the things. It is basically a web browser that can access your files. That is kind of how it works, but it's a special install because normal web browsers can't do that. And actually, I would bet like 90% of UI these days on new apps is actually web UI on top of some sort of desktop app. So it's just too easy. It's too easy to do it that way.
Yeah.
Also, random thought while I was up, since we got some downtime. Have you ever thought about how you breathe? like in your nose? Like if you're taking a deep breath, like how do you take a deep breath through your nose?
I've never thought about this. I mean, I inhale through my nostrils.
Yeah, so a while back I was like trying to work on some breathing techniques and things, and I got a pointer that was like, you don't when you're trying to breathe, don't breathe up. So like always my entire life I like breathe up, right? Like you're breathing in through your nose up, but that doesn't make any sense because that's not where your actual nostril holes are. You need to breathe. It's like you need to breathe towards the back of your neck, and you can actually get like a much deeper breath because that is actually where the air goes, is towards into your head and down to your lungs. Whereas up, there is nothing in your nose up here. It just hits a wall.
Huh. So you want
Anyways.
to pull with your throat more than your nose.
I wouldn't say pull with your throat. It's just like, at least for me, it's just like think about breathing into the back of your throat. Like I don't really do anything different other than how I'm thinking about breathing, and my body just kind of does it.
Interesting.
Isn't that crazy? I'm just doing that right now, and it's like just I can feel it hitting the top of the roof of my mouth, which is not good because it's hitting a wall.
Yeah, well, if you
Like
get good
back
at it,
there.
maybe TMI, if you get good at it and you have postnasal drip, you'll start to feel your sinuses flush because you're getting way more oxygen. And that's why I have the nose strip on. It's because the nose strip lets way more oxygen in, and then it starts flushing your sinuses quicker.
Similar to the financial conversations we might have on this show from time to time. None of us are doctors, and none of you should take our medical advice. But breathing strips and breathing mechanisms have helped me. I've never used breathing strips actually, but I've done a bunch of breathing exercises, and they've definitely helped me in many ways: stress, anxiety, sleep.
Yeah, if you have a small pointy nose, breathing strips are great, but you can't wear them all the time. So
Yeah, I don't have. I have the Cro-Magnon nose. It's like I look like I was, 2 centuries too late. I'm gonna be right back. I gotta fill my water up.
yeah, Tony's over here filling his water every time. I'm just getting another cup of coffee every time. Let's get hyped, guys.
Let's go. I adjusted the camera while AI is working on it, so we're zoomed in. I want to be able to see the platform to the right here. And so this is just the camera 2D that's connected to the player node or the player scene here. Oh no, these are nodes. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to get my technical terms correct. We're in the swap sandbox scene in a player node. Nice. So I might actually start playing WoW. I know that you and Tony were just talking about it, but I might try to play it every Friday. We'll see.
Every Friday. What? Why just Fridays?
Just with another group of people, and that's when they can play. Yeah, and I want to get more of the party aspect of it instead of soloing. And we're doing
Do not play retail then. If you guys are playing retail, that's gonna be miserable.
And what are the two different ones? Retail and what?
Retail and classic.
I believe we are playing classic.
Yeah, that makes more sense. So if you do, well, nah, not if you're only playing every Fridays. I prefer hardcore. Like hard is one of my favorite game modes in WoW, but I guess that's you've never played. Tony had never played. I threw him right into hardcore, and he made some pretty new mistakes and lost hours of gameplay. But we did have a great weekend. It was funny. I would just like start crafting stuff and like getting everything going while he was re-leveling his bro, and then I just deck him out with stuff. And I think it was the third time. The third time he died in like one weekend, I was like, okay, maybe it's time to give retail a go. But no, classic's really fun. Like I'm always amazed, especially if people like you're super into D&D, and I'm always amazed when people have never played classic WoW. It's not a new game. It's been around forever. It's not like it's not been the most popular video game on the planet. Like honestly, ever. Like I don't know. Like maybe Fortnite takes that now.
Well, it was so popular, especially when I was working at EA, that we used it as a model of how to be successful.
Yeah.
So a lot of other game companies used it as a reference.
Yeah, but it's always amazing to me when like D&D people that play video games have never played WoW. I'm just like, it's literally what it is D&D in video game form. So especially Classic. Classic is just extremely good. Now, if you only play on Friday evenings for a couple hours, you'll be level 20 in a year and a half. So good luck.
Hey,
And
as long as it's
level
fun.
60 is the max level. Yeah.
What game?
Classic WoW.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was a fun experience.
Yeah, you also play hardcore. I told him, I was like, you should do hardcore. And then I was like, oh, if you can only play Fridays like for 3 hours each, you should not play hardcore.
Yeah, you'd be so sad. Those Murlocs would get you and you'd never play again.
Specifically the Murlocs.
I hate those little frog bastards.
So Tony, we were in Trisfold Glades, which is the undead area, and Tony ran over a hill and ran into a silver framed so a rare mob Murloc that's was 5 levels higher. And I watched him run over the hill, and there's no way back up the hill. It's just like a drop off. And I said, it was nice knowing you, Tony. And he's like, what? I was like, you're dead. And he's like, come help me. I was like, there ain't no way I'm coming down there because they will both just be dead.
Oh my gosh.
And that's what's actually hardcore is really crazy in WoW, because it's not like, oh, I press my buttons really fast. It's knowledge of the game and knowing what is going on and where not to go and where to bail. Because one of the times Tony died, we were in a crypt and it didn't feel like it was that dangerous. And I was like yelling at him. I was like, get out, get out, get out. Because we pulled like 4 mobs, which even doing, they were a couple levels, they're like a level higher than us, which is risky in hardcore anyways to do that. And he stayed and got like 3 or 4 more hits because he thought he was going to like finish the guy off, and
did not finish the guy off.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. It's yeah, you just got to know when to bail.
Got to know when to hold him. Got to know when to fold him.
Also, you got to be in sync with your group mates. I don't know if you guys saw the Pirate Software Classic WoW hardcore drama, but it's all real funny because he bailed and the rest of the group stayed, and someone died, and they probably could have gotten out of it, but they just weren't on the same page. And then it's wild because I don't know if you guys have not. I feel like it's a piece of streaming internet history. You need to go research now, but it's over the last like 2 or 3 years. He basically imploded his entire career just because he's a dumbass, but in a not a nice. He is a very. I am never wrong, and I will double down on every wrong answer I've ever given and just lash out at everybody. Tony, you told me there was some framework for this.
Oh, Darvo or DARPA? No, Darvo.
Yeah, and he's basically Darvo, and he even got on with a therapist one time.
Yeah, deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender.
Yeah,
Darvo. Yeah.
And he like got on with a therapist one time, and the therapist, like one of his internet therapist bros, influencers, and he basically was like, dude, do you not see how this is this way? He's like, well, I don't agree with you. You literally got a famous therapist telling you this stuff on stream, and you're like, yeah, but you're wrong.
So
like,
this guy's a WoW streamer?
He was just like an MMO streamer. He went from like he literally, what's crazy is he was like for a while like one of the biggest streamers, and his whole MO was like, oh yeah, we have a good community, we're not toxic, blah blah blah. So it was kind of hilarious to like see him implode it in the most amazing way ever.
Turn troll.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't even trolling. That's the problem. It's just when his back got up against a wall, like he literally, friends, just apologize. Just apologize when you do something wrong. Be remorseful about it. Try to change your behavior. If there's one piece of advice you take away from this stream in your life to improve your life, do that.
It's true.
Your life will be much better. It will be uncomfortable. You will have to acknowledge you did something wrong. I understand that, but just do it and move on. It diffuses a lot of situations that
It's freeing too. It feels the weight gets lifted off of you.
Yeah. And Pirate has the inability to do that. But he's doing it in front of millions of people. So yeah, I'm sure you can imagine where that ends.
I gotta go look this guy up now.
The other funny thing I always laughed is he's got like massive voice changers on his mic, so it makes it like super low pitch voice, but he's actually got a super high whiny voice. So people hear him talk in real life and they're like, "Oh my god, there's nothing what you sound like on your stream."
That's funny.
Those always crack me up because it's like, bro, like just be yourself. Like I don't get it.
I had a what's it called, a VTuber for a while, and it was like a little alien person. And that's the only time I've ever used a voice changer. I made myself sound like Marvin the Martian. It was great.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So what are you doing now, Brandon?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to make the movement feel a lot better. So as you can see here, we have a dash mechanic. And so you jump to this platformer, then you dash over in the air, which is nice. We can modify it so the standing floor dash actually has an animation. Could just use the run animation if we wanted to. But what I'm doing right now is that, the wall jump just feels bad to me right now. And so normally what we would have in our chimney is just a one gap between walls and the chimney, but this is a two gapper. I think that feels a little bit better, or it looks a little bit better right now. The only difficulty is that the guy doesn't jump all the way. He doesn't jump all the way to that square, so it's not easy to get up the wall, the chimney. So like when I'm thinking of chimney, you just hit space or jump, go one wall.
Did you set Claude off on a research topic on this by chance?
I just had it implement what I thought would feel good, but we could put it off.
Oh no, I was just curious if you were.
Yeah, so it's working on making it better right now. I mean, it seems like it would have been easy to just go into a Godot script and probably just try to find where that wall jump. Here it is. It's a wall jump vector 2 that it changed.
Yeah. Well, one thing that's also interesting is like, this is not, you're not reinventing the wheel here, right? Like all these mechanics exist in some form. So if you do specialize, I notice you're just doing one big thread, but if you do specialized threads to go have, you don't need to do like a deep research or searching the internet. It probably already has training data on this. Because like none of the mechanics we're doing are special. And this is where AI is really good. And when I say special, I mean new. So AI is really good at backward looking things. So meaning things that already exist. So if you go in and prompt and say, hey, it feels really bad. Here's how I want it to feel. Just use like normal, like basically just use normal industry standard feelings for this. You might get a better starting point than since it just did it as part of other things, or you have like a big context window going.
Yeah.
Because the other thing on the dash, I would say, and the jump, I don't know if your dash, it seems like your dash is just it always dashes the same amount. I don't know if we want it to be more dynamic than that, where you can hold it
based
down.
on how much you hold it.
Yeah. So we have that with, oh no, we don't have that with the jump either. So that'd be good.
And those are mechanics I think you're gonna want, because you can't do, since it's fundamentally a puzzle game, you can't do fun, interesting puzzles. Like maybe you need a dash, but you just need a quick dash versus a long dash. Like you can't really do all that.
Yeah.
If it's uniform.
And so how would you recommend like starting a research prompt out like this?
For standard things, like I said, this is not a research prompt. I would just tell it to do a plan mode and then explain what you want and just start over.
And use the phrase industry best practices. That worked really well with the art.
Yeah. Yeah. Research you need if you're like looking, or top 10 mechanics or something like that in 2026. Like if you need real-time data, these are, or you have some new interesting mechanic that you don't really know how to implement and it's doing a bad job, then you would say like, hey, go research all the like tangential or similar mechanics and see if we can't come up with a way to do it. That's where like research you would need. But when it's just a dash, it's more that you just want like a fresh context. And then the other thing, copy this out so you don't have to retype it. I'm going to show you another thing that you need to do, especially when you're doing a lot of math and you want it to get it right, or just keep typing.
Okay. All right, we got it.
So type /effort. Hit the effort and go to max.
There you go.
Whoa.
And now you can paste it back in.
Yeah.
That's why when you just kept typing, I was like, all right, just keep going. It's like,
yeah, we'll just keep on going. Will you stay? No.
Okay. So anyways, so when you're doing math or it needs to evaluate or it needs to look at what you're doing in the scene, like this, it may like do a better, it may actually walk through for you how it's feeling and get a better starting point. But at the end of the day, if you're doing minor tweaks, like I said earlier, you're better off just popping open the file. And I don't know if Godot has the capability to make some of these variables on your game object. So in Unity or Unreal, you can add variables that are passed into your game object and then just edit them in the UI. I assume that is possible here. And that is actually, at the end of the day, what you would want to do. Yeah, so see over here on your player controller on the right-hand side, there's a bunch of variables. So like, as you're adjusting them, and Unity and Unreal have the capability to adjust them while you're in the scene. That is what you would want to do. That's how you would iterate very, very quickly. You'd be in the scene, adjust them, and then see what it feels like. So then you don't even have to exit the game.
Yeah, and I believe that Godot can do that too. It's just I need to move the screen off. So let's try that real quick. So if we look at the gravity, and then we want to change what?
Why don't you detach your, instead of moving the game off, detach your inspector out of there, or remove that. I was going to say just you can. All right, no. Full screen your code window again.
Detach. Where's that on here?
Just click and drag inspector, and you should be able to drag it off. Or no, drag to the other window. Like drag it off.
Like
what
click
about
on the tab itself, right?
What about the ... Is there a detach? I mean, no, not that ... You're right. Make floating.
There we go. Perfect.
There you go. And then actually for the stream, you can now move them both back on the main screen and have them side by side.
Yeah.
And just, make that a little bit smaller. There you go.
It's beautiful.
We did it. We did it, guys.
We did it.
I was like, there is no way Godot is this mature and does not... Ooh, jump real high. There's no way Godot is this mature and does not have detached tool windows.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, I'm terrible at this game. I need a controller, but that's all right. So we can.
You are pretty bad at using mouse and keyboard. You can tell you've played PlayStation for 20 years and not PC.
Yeah, I think I've played a little longer than that.
It is crazy. There's this thing called pair programming that was popular for a little while, where you'd like basically just sit at someone else's computer and watch them work. It is crazy to see the difference between PC gamers and non-PC gamers, and you could always tell because PC gamers would be sitting there like trying not to pull their hair out while they're watching all these people that barely use computers or only use computers at work. Got really bad with Gen Z too, because Gen Z like didn't do typing classes and stuff. Yeah, and they only use tablets, and it was like, oh my god, go get a typing software and learn how to freaking type, bro. Like you're like 10 words per minute and like just painful.
Yeah. So what kind of things should we adjust here? Because I mean, dash is maybe that's too.
Is it doing the thing where if you hold it longer, you dash further? Or
Well, that's what we're researching right now. So we're creating a plan in Claude Code right now, and it's going and looking at industry standards for dash specifically, where if you hold down dash longer, it'll dash farther. So if you just tap it, it'll dash a little bit.
Yeah, and see, it's actually searching for algorithms. So it figured out itself that it didn't know what to do. So it's going to dynamically do that.
Nice. But I do like the feel of the jump here. I think dash is fine for maximum dash. I think this variable is probably too powerful when you're jumping off of a wall. Let's go pretty far.
Yeah, and I just want to like reiterate and re-highlight to the stream, and this is Jimmy's point earlier. It's a very good point. We're not over here doing more and more features because this doesn't feel good. You got to make what you have feel good. That's the whole point of the prototype. We can take these values, we can move forward on them. But if you can't, to be completely honest, if you can't do a jump and a dash in a game and make it feel good, nobody's gonna play your game, right? Like, and that was Jimmy's point earlier, is like you got to make the basics feel good. So now, luckily, anybody can do this because it's trial and error. Some of it's trial and error. It's literally making it feel like how you want it to feel. And that's the big thing is like, you know, I make claims like if nobody, or if it doesn't feel good, nobody will play it. The thing is on that is what feels good is an opinion. So this is where I think game development's very exciting and game design's very exciting with AI is you get to decide, like you're making the project for yourself and people like you. So you get to decide what feels good. When you're making games and companies, that is not how you get to decide. How companies are decide is you go do a user test and it doesn't matter what you want to do. It only matters what scores high in the user test because the only point is to make money. And so that kind of kills the artistic endeavor of it. And it also kills innovation because, you know, maybe you do 10 games and the first 5 games or first 7 games aren't good, but maybe you hit on some combination on the 8th game that's just unique and different and just way better, but nobody would have guessed it was good, right? Like I like to think about like original Dark Souls or heavy animation locks like Monster Hunter. On paper, that sounds terrible, but there's a ton, to me at least, right? I would have rejected that proposal every single time, but those games are wildly popular, right?
Yep. So what we have here is the dash feel, and it's asking a pretty good question where my initial thought would it be tap versus hold tiers, but it says that an industry standard is hold to extend, where you go full, like you start the animation, you start the physics fully for like a full dash, and then you let go if you want to shorten it.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're talking about. The big difference is just your dash right now is very, very long, so you would need to lower your dash. So just to highlight this, that is essentially saying what we were talking about in a slightly different way. So we're not saying take your really long dash you have right now and make it even longer. We're saying make your really long dash right now, make it a fourth as short, and then extend it as you hold it, which is functionally what we were saying, just phrased in a slightly different way. So.
Yeah, because right now it's very long. Oh.
As is the drop.
As is the drop.
I also wonder, since you're all about like parkour, you know, like Mario has the butt stomp. I wonder if you actually want a thing where you can stop midair and butt stomp, like so if you
like,
overshoot.
Like drop yourself quickly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Interesting. So oh, I was trying to give an example, but yeah.
The opposite of
yeah, so it'd be like here, instead of landing here, you'd land at the beginning if you wanted to stop.
Yeah.
How do you
to miss miss a trap or
Yeah.
to
How did they trigger that in Mario? Is it down arrow?
It's a down arrow and a button.
Oh, and
Well, actually, it depends on the game. Some of them you just hold the down button while you're in the air, and some of them it's a down arrow and a button. But I would just ask the best practice. But it's going to be one of those two things. I think we just choose.
I think it has to be the down arrow. Well, yeah, we'll ask it. To me, it feels like a down arrow would be pretty good because we don't use down for anything in this game right now.
Well, there you go.
Oh, Jinx! Now you owe me a Coke.
I got Coke here. You just gotta come get it. I guess technically the rules, I gotta bring it to you, but all right, you'll get it in July.
I was gonna say July 8th or 9th or whatever.
All right, so I'm just going to read through the plan that it has right now, but it's explaining like what we have today with the dash speed and how we have our chosen approach of hold to extend.
This is small change, reuses the existing.
Yeah. So quick tap, distance is 224, full is 728. Pixels.
See, I would actually change this, and I wouldn't extend the longer. I would just make it shorter because I don't think you actually want it to be much longer.
What is it right now? So if we look for, we just have the dash speed.
Well, it says right there today, right, the middle one. Look at the table.
Oh, yeah, so it's saying today would be the midpoint. So what I would do is just provide
that.
Yeah, just provide feedback and say we actually want the full length to be the length of the dash today.
And what did they call it up here? We want full hold.
What are you playing right now, Jeremy?
One of the games I'm playing is do it every morning. Go Muffin, mobile game.
Go Muffin?
Yeah, it's like a idle MMORPG on your phone. Nice.
I played AFK Arena for a while. That was an idle one. I liked that one.
Yeah, I think it was AFK Journey. I played a ton.
Or actually, that's the one I played.
I played that a lot, but I just finally got the problem with those games is they like even the content patches are all the same. I had like every character for like a year, and then it just gets boring after a minute because it's like the same puzzles, same thing with Genshin. I just got bored of doing dailies every freaking day forever.
Yeah. Genshin, I stuck with for a while because they did such a good job, with new game modes all the time. But yeah, like ultimately, but that's another example of one that like the core gameplay, like they just got right. Like it's just fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, and actually, I think the thing they got wrong was not it. So I agree with you. They would add like event game types and stuff, which were really good. They'd be there for a week and just be gone.
And then they'd go away. Yeah, dude. Like they had a tower defense one that was incredibly fun. It was
same. It was my favorite one too.
Yeah.
And I was like, why can't I do my dailies in this way? And like what I think they should have done over time is added more alternative game modes to do your daily stuff in different ways. Versus you always must do these like 3 things. Like it just got really boring.
I agree. And like the crazy thing is they built it. Right, like it's already there. They could just open up a theme park and be like, "This is where you go do your dailies. It's all the shit that we already built."
Yep. Yeah, it's a weird thing. But there would be times in the game where they'd like do special zones or something, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And really, though, I think in those games, they're doomed to fail because of you must do these 4 dailies every day to have any shot, or you must spend thousands of dollars.
Because it feels like a job then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's same thing. I'm always on about weekly lockouts and MMOs or daily, weekly, all the things. daily aren't as big a deal because like you're probably not doing it. But if I can play WoW on a Saturday for 10 hours and I can, it's less of a deal now with like Mythic Plus and stuff, but and I want to go run the raid 3 times and I won't be able to play for 2 weeks, or maybe I can play a Saturday and Sunday for like 20 hours one weekend. Like, why can't I play the game? They're so concerned with people that are going to burn themselves out that they miss like the majority of the player base. And that is something I just, especially for like playable content that has like RNG drop rate and stuff, I think it always should be farmable. And what's weird in like some MMOs like WoW is they've done Mythic Plus where it's farmable, basically unlimited, but then they're so obsessive with like their raids and their other gameplay to like not make it unlimited farmable. And it's just like I think that's one thing probably in the next 10 years we'll see an iteration on game design, because the average age of gamers I saw, or MMO gamers at least right now, is like 38, white male 38. And I was like, these guys, like, they're gonna have to change it eventually or people are gonna quit playing, right? It's and I think if you want to time gate stuff, you do phased releases like WoW is doing, where you do a raid 1 with 4 bosses, a raid 2 with 3 bosses. I don't think you do it in weekly lockouts. It just starts to feel like a job, because I want to log on and play a game when I can play it. Like that's how I want to do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I started to feel that way about Dark Age of Camelot when I left. Like when I started playing, it was all very focused on the PvP, realm versus realm stuff, and getting to that as the end game. And then they added all of the instancing and tried to make it as solo an experience as possible, and just kind of lost some of the magic.
Trying to determine if it actually did what I wanted.
Is there how would you tell?
Well, right now, this is about that's the max length. Oh my gosh. Okay. And then if I tap it, oh my God, it just put me right there instead of right here. I don't think that's good enough. So let's.
And now, is this in a config as well, or do you have to go tell the AI to adjust it?
It should be in a config. Looks like it added a timer in this property. So if I, all right, so where did that thing go now? There it is, behind everything. How do I get back? So the platform, here, let's just rebuild. Oops. All right. So we got everything on our screen here. Let's go back in here. Should have added something over here for
dash duration, right?
I think so. Let's double check what it did. Yeah, dash duration, dash min duration float now.
Yeah, so that's for the tap.
Yeah. So here's our dash min duration. It just seems, I don't know, I'm just gonna make it something dumb. Still, oh, that actually felt a lot better.
Yeah, that was like, yeah.
So if I dash here, oh. I mean, so here's a short dash, long dash. Yeah. So you can kind of see
yeah.
Short dash. And then, oh, god damn it. Long dash. Cool. I actually like that that idea to press the down button to stop dashing. So I think that would feel really good, because if I'm over here and I'm long dashing, well, I made it to the other platform, but if I saw I was not going to make it, I could hit down.
Yep.
And just immediately drop down.
And interrupt your dash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think movement, changing directions in movement is a big uh, element, vector. Like knob to turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What I would also say about the dash balancing is the way you should tune it is you should get a gap that you think has the right gap size. So like this gap, I don't think is the right test size because do your jump again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, jump
So
across the ravine.
Jump dash.
Oh no. I want to see your jump. Your jump almost gets it, right? Like
Yeah.
you what I think your dash your tuning is you should get a gap and then your dash or your jump plus dash should be like the standard one should basically cover it barely. And so then what it should feel like is the players holding it to try and make the jump, right?
Uh-huh.
Like this is I don't think this is the feel you want because you barely tap it and you like fly past it and it's like not hard at all. It's like zero difficulty. It's like if you dash, it just works. So the first thing you should say, is this the right distance you want to tune it to? And if it is, then you need to tune your jump and your dash to feel a lot better here, I would say. And I actually don't think your dash needs to be like your dash is very long right now, right? It's like half a screen width. So
yeah, so very, very long. And so dash speed, we can go, let's do 1500.
Which, by the way, if that's what you want it to be, that's fine. But then you would tune your levels to do that, right? Like your level's way too small for the dash to be. And so, like, that's kind of like one of the deciding things. Do you want it like big and spread out? Is that the feel you want? Or do you want it like kind of closer together? It goes back to kind of the POV question I was asking earlier is like, well, how do you want that to feel there? But generally speaking, I think that's how you want to tune things is you want to think about like, what do I think is a reasonable test? Let's find that, like, let's find that distance and then let's tune it to that distance. And then everything is kind of baked around that distance. But your jump is impacted by that, right? Obviously go ahead.
There's probably another higher level discussion that we're talking about here, right? And I think it goes back to like what the game is. And so like if originally, and I don't know if we're going to go back to this, but at one point there was like a time mechanic, like you had to beat the level in a certain amount of time. And if that was the case, still, I would actually think that would conflict with our exploration tenet, right? And so I'm backing my way into this. What I should have said is because we have an exploration tenet, I think that the level should feel more spread out and like you're not sprinting through it. If we care about exploration, because you're not exploring, you're not discovering things if you're racing through the level to get through it as quickly as possible, right? Those are just different games.
Yeah, so more spread out.
So that would argue for a more spread out level with a longer dash is what we would be optimizing for.
Right.
Yeah.
And what that would look like is like your dash jumps, you don't necessarily know they're there. So like there's a huge gap. You have to like do the jump and dash. And I think this is where like not very punishing and exploration all kind of plays into each other is like it's kind of like a leap of faith. But you don't know where it's at, right? That's like that to me is what exploration in a platformer would be like. Is like, I need to jump and dash, but I actually don't know where I'm going, and there's kind of a leap of faith here. And then you go, and then that's where the holding it comes into play. If you don't make it, you just respawn back on the thing, and that's where like kind of all the puzzles start to, come in and converge on themselves. Is part of it is like you have to explore to figure out the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Yep. What are the set of actions that I need to take in order to move forward is like that is a puzzle in and of itself, even if it's not like flip a trigger or find a thing. Like the puzzle can be like just how do I keep moving forward?
Yeah. What?
I like that sound effect. We should use that in the game.
Actually, looks like it didn't redo it. All right. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, so you're at the edge of the platform. Oh, it peeks out. I think that's all right. I can adjust the camera angle because we are on like the grid. Like if we don't want to see it,
no, I think that's the right level of leap of faith. You know something's there, but you don't know what's there.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that looks good there. And we have a chimney where we can actually go up without having to hit any directional buttons. And then we can move this platform off to the side a little bit.
Yeah, I don't even know that last platform matters right now.
No,
it's just because what we're trying to do now is okay. So it seems like we're trying to find each thing and make it feel good is all we're trying to do right now. So now I assume you think the jump feels good, or did we do the jump higher when you hold it, which I think we want to do, or maybe we just say the dash feels good right now.
Yeah.
I think the wall jumps are very boring and bland right now. They're not even as exciting as Mario 64 wall jumps, and Mario 64 came out in 1996. So that's my polite way of saying what's the point, right? Because you just have a chimney, you just jump. That's not like to me that if you want heavy parkour movement, like that's pretty like what's the point, right? Like it's not unique. There's a billion games that do that. You're just copying a mechanic.
So what do you think would make it more fun?
Like maybe there's more difficulty. Maybe there's some twist on the mechanic. I would flip it around and say, why do you think that is fun? Why do you think someone would want to play a game where there's just random chimneys that you jump up?
I think it's more exploration based where we don't have ladders or anything. And so we can go upwards. Like we can do it platform ways. This is another way that we can go upwards. I'd say it's more based off of the movement pillar that we want. But yeah, so maybe we can make it more challenging. We can add like the platform up can be how you get up, and chimneys can be a little bit more challenging.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about other games that I've played that have this wall jump chimney mechanic in them.
Yeah. So and remember, the goal here is we're getting a first prototype of a puzzle, which before you even do the back and forth, I do actually think what we're doing is good. Is like just go through the level and get up there, because you could do things like maybe there's missing walls and you go through in the back time, and there's not missing walls and you go back forth and do that sort of stuff. Maybe that is what makes it fun, and maybe it's not obvious that's how it's working. I'm just trying to think of like where we're at now. Like this one basic puzzle that we're doing and building out should be like interesting. And
one of the things that Mario does that I like a lot is they put some sort of trigger in place that like apparates the other part of the chimney, right? So like you would start on the left-hand side and then have to hit something in midair or have to hit something on the wall that would make the right side of the wall appear and the left side of the wall disappear. And so you have to time that jump off the wall with the button hit.
Is that what we want to do with a time shift? Where
that's what it could be. It could be the time shift might be.
I think you're talking about two different things, right? Like Tony, you're talking about how you actually do the wall jump. I think right now I agree with Tony. The wall jump is you just spam A. That's like not interesting gameplay, right? Like
yeah, we want to add some element that makes it more than just press A.
Yeah. So like in Mario, like let me rephrase what Tony said. In Mario, you have to press right at a specific time and left at a specific time and right. And that's how you wall jump. You have to time it up the jump. So every wall jump you do there's like interactive play with the player. It's not just like spam A over and over and over again until you're at the top or whatever. Or it's not super, super easy. So And I think this is like an important thing is like every mechanic should have some amount of like gameplay in it more than just spamming a button. That actually might be a good pillar is like no game mechanic should just be spamming a button.
Should just be spamming a button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll add that in there. I like that. And do we think that it's a non-goal or a pillar? So, or both, maybe. So I was thinking it could be a non-goal where this is not a spamming game.
I don't love that. I would phrase it completely different. I would say every game mechanic should have some skill or engaging aspect to it.
So it can be a part of pillar 1, probably as a part of our motion.
No, I would just make another pillar.
I would make another pillar because it's more than just motion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the reason I would not put the spammy in the language is like you might actually want to put a puzzle that is you need to press A 100 times in 10 seconds or something, right? But it's like a time challenge, you're spamming it. Like that's like what we want is you want every single mechanic to have some sort of challenge to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, every mechanic has a purpose.
Yeah.
And purpose is defined by completing a challenge. Or using using a combination of I think that's just fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I can fill that out.
Yeah, because I'm also thinking you could do puzzles where it's like you activate something, there's a time challenge, you have to go to something, you have to activate it by hitting A over and over again, and then you have to do some parkour, and then you have to go to another thing, hit A over again, or maybe you get like your rift power breaks, so you got to like charge up your rift power mid puzzle or something. Like there are things, but it's specifically to add value to it. It's just like movement. I think for movement specifically, for something you're doing all the time, you don't want spammy. You want it to feel good. You want it to, more importantly, you want it to make it feel like you're moving the character, not that the character's just automatically moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's in every movement is intentional.
Yeah.
That definitely speaks to the butt stomp, right? The ability to just like remove movement in the air. We have about 2 minutes left, and so I'm going to plug the Discord one more time. If you're watching and you haven't stopped by our Discord yet, discord.gg/Makko, Makko. We are constantly making games and talking to people about what's going on. We have a Friday afternoon at noon PT office hours that you can drop by and ask us questions about what you're building. And we do lots of contests and giveaways. So you can come in, make something with Makko, and post it on our Discord or on one of our subreddits, and have a chance to win free Steam gift cards or free video games. So again, discord.gg/Makko, Makko.
Yeah, and just to help close it out, just reviewing what we're doing, it's like I hope today's session was like an important view or a valuable viewport into why you don't just do massive plans and go execute them, because we are literally probably 1% of where Brandon thought we were going to be by the end of the day, and we're still proving the fun here, and it's a lot of brainstorming, a lot of creativity. It's not just implement code X. It's just not what games are a lot of the time. That is what finishing games is, and polishing games is go implement code X. But when you're finding the fun, it's a lot of ideation, it's a lot of trial and error. You're going to play your same level 100 billion times, and you're gonna love it. So
or you're gonna make it so you love it.
Yeah,
iterate on it until you love it.
So let's just summarize real quick, and this is good to double down on what Jeremy was saying. Brandon, what did you think we were going to build today?
Yeah, I thought we were going to get to the swapping mechanic today, but yeah, I thought like as far as we were, but I thought like Jeremy brought out a lot of good points here where we can't really pre-plan prototyping at all. It's more, it's more. I want to say vibing. It's probably an incorrect term, but it's
It's a
brainstorming.
creative process.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's
what
more
do
of a
you-
creative process here. So like I really enjoyed the experience, like going through getting our game to a place where we can mess around, we can drag and drop things around, and then adjust the different physics and player mechanics so it feels better. And I think that that is a really good first step into proving out the fun. Is how does the game feel?
So is that what you would say we like? What would you say we actually built today?
Yeah, I think we have a good first iteration on a prototype where we're trying to prove out mechanics to make them feel great. And so I think we have a little bit more tweaking to go, but I think we did. I do think the dash feels a lot better now because it's variable, and you can dash to a platform that is off the screen because we did like zoom in the camera a little bit.
Nice.
And
And then
so we did get our platforms that we can move around. We have our dash mechanic, and now we're iterating on a wall jump mechanic.
nice. And what do you guys think we're going to get through next week? Just so we can tell everyone what they're going to see if they tune in again.
We're going to make sure jumping works, and I think Tony and I are going to go and kind of brainstorm on how we think like a chimney jump would be fun. And then we'll have a okay idea on what we want to test out in our prototype. And then we'll iterate on that. And I think we'll go from there. We'll see how it feels, and we'll adjust. And then we'll move on to the next mechanic that we want, which could be our double dash, or not our double dash, but a double jump.
Awesome. And then Jeremy, on your side, do you think that we'll see anything new with the product or platform next week that will be showing off?
Yeah, I think we'll have the asset tool live and maybe the alignment tool in dev. So I think that there'll be something.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks everyone for joining. We appreciate you. Again, if you want to hang out with us, join our Discord, discord.gg/Makko, Makko. And we hope you all have a great day.